Shenandoah notoriously is Ramontra's biggest counter. He is essentially useless when it comes to that. I mean, you're set on fire, doing crit damage through and through, but underneath that, VOD is taking all of the supports out before TAMU can even poke their head. Yet being down 3 of their team members, you're best off holding that for your next battle.
Yeah.
There's advantage if they know how to work down a player or two, and it's gonna come back to save them in the best ways. Control Center is gonna hit 100%, and that's Shenandoah's second map win.
VOD able to find 2 huge picks with that ultimate coming through, and really that's what swung the fight back into SU. So you see play of the game here, Ben able to pick up some
defensive game. Your Amp Matrix is up way sooner, so that threat of double damage, double healing, and even the Tree of Life put down on the objective. Overwhelming resources for
right, you mentioned that beam fully being invested into Ben there, trying to keep him alive.
And then be the ones fighting into an Amp Matrix. Interesting spot for Cherry to put it, but okay, if it works, it works. Never doubt this Baptiste player. She knows exactly what she is.
You're just trying to keep them out of harm's way, trying to stay alive, getting this heal onto Ben here. Sacred and VOD overclock now popped, but will go down, unfortunately, to the opposing Sojourn.
Yeah, just was sitting and waiting for that moment to come alive, and that's a couple players lifted up to the sky, smashed back to the present. Shenandoah now Sacred End, that's a pulse bomb out through the back, and he's getting a loop. No reaction from either Isuzu or their toe near the payload. It's going to stop midway through that second up. Now.
Yeah, VOD again now going for that
he has a headshot!
just barely missing.
Who else is left to provide a shield for the supports? Absolutely nobody. Ben happy to do a little bit of punching in a small area. Shenandoah are making quick work of Objective A.
Yeah, Wanter there just being singled out there.
Point number 2, securing at Shenandoah for match point.
Even a close push there for SU there. They were really just kind of able to roll through that one. Props to King Kong Poppy, able to find those back line angles. And you can see TAMU were trying to find this dive composition, but just unable to get onto the backside. I like the switches coming through, but they were just unable to execute it up against.
Convinced. And yeah, Shenandoah, yes, they are up temporarily. Now they're going to have to regroup on the objective. It is unlocked. There's a few instances you will fight in the actual pit itself. Both teams looking for a knockout. Shenandoah, specifically Ben, bringing out the good old punching fist. It's going to get a loop on the top. And it'll be the Hornets for the first cap. Popping off as an individual. There's another one in the kill feed. Speaking of which, and he shall be mentioned and appear for a triple. My goodness.
I mean, SU up 1-0 now on this flashpoint, and now the rotations, we're going to have to see where this one goes. But
big pick.
Sacred End just getting aggressive on this backline.
Shenandoah, you have 2 options. You can either take the fight or go to the next point. Most teams choose to go to the next point, but at this point, all right, we're getting aggressive. We're getting a little punchy, and Annihilation and Overclock, as we'll see with Refinery, are 2 points that if you do not get to the objective first, you are in big trouble. I mean, Shenandoah, they had the setup, and they knew exactly where TAMU are going to approach. While there's only 4 angles, you're very loud. You're just kind of stomping around.
SU just playing so confident.
And now, not going to peek much further out. Shenandoah, though, their health bars are low. Not quite Ben's. He's going to walk straight to the objective. Annihilation in hand. Yes, VOD loses his 1v1. That's the end of the day. But for the greater sacrifice, while Loop was occupied, Ben was there attached to these purple tendrils and just annihilating TAMU.
Yeah, Ben
just resorted to taking a beating, backing off, playing the slower game. Long Shenandoah could ask for no brute force standing in the way of Shenandoah's wrath, and Bomb Flats certainly off to a great start. No major resources even helping guide the team through, and they're going to need it, particularly with Wanter waltzing around the objective. Next target just to fall as the Shenandoah cap has returned for TAMU. Shenandoah's resources, though, they're wisely backing off, waiting for all of that overhealth to dissipate before they themselves make the move to strike back in. Sacred End and VOD, a tag team of devastating damage to push through. TAMU keeping the trades relatively even, and it's VOD and Ben to finally put them down the bed. Nail in the
playing patiently, knowing when to give some ground back, waiting for these cooldowns to come back up, and then re-engaging later on in this fight, able to secure the victory. VOD, you can see him here in this final goal here within the first 30 seconds here for SU.
Yeah, Mango looking nice and happy that he was able to lob that over the defense and Kiazi, but Shenandoah doesn't really care. It's 2-0 in their favor to start things off here.
Yeah, Kiazi just winning that kickoff. That's
how that ball out of the path, put it in the back of the net, and nets his second goal of game number 1 here. Just barely enough to put on it and put fantastic team play between the two of them. Elim takes it off the side, reads the bounce, or Mango reads the bounce and is able to put it in the back of the net. Really just ruined for Shenandoah.
Yeah, Electro just able to find that clear. Kiazi just unable to make it there in time. Will get a point.
University of Mary Washington, signs of life after after an unfortunate start for Mary Washington.
Yeah,
Shenandoah the lead 50 seconds into this game, number 3.
And look at the pass play, right? Elim recognizes the communication is there between
game number 3.
Yeah, these crosses just coming out left and right from SU. Mango finding that corner angle there, and Kiazi.
Goal right there from Kiazi. Just says, I don't need you guys, I'll do it all on my own. Just not a lot of boost either, and it just saves just enough to get
on his own pass.
Did you see the goal explosion? Wait, no, that's, never mind. I was about to make a joke, but that is very clearly not Mango.
Dream behind us, 1-0 in the first 6 seconds of game number 4.
And he is hyped up and ready to go, and with a splat.
I believe that was Elim just barely missing that one. He gets the demo, but just barely misses the ball, but it's okay. There's still
an unfortunate bounce if you're Shenandoah. Just a great job right there by Kiazi, being in the right place at the right time. No one on UNW and put it in the back of the net with 2 minutes to go. 2-goal advantage, and Shenandoah chasing this series.
4-1 now here for SU.
Yeah, and really just a phenomenal job by Kiazi. A little bit of disorientation by UMW, kind of.
And AJ is off the stage.
Yeah, I was just about to say how I was really loving it so far out of AJ. Just kind of finding it right with those stuns. I mean, that's obviously the nature of this game, but Kazuya's stuns just last so much longer as AJ could spell death for either side. You'd really love to see AJ get one more stock, and there it is. Neither one of these players wants to lose their one stock. Nipstapa trying to hold the advantage and just in his arsenal will now look to get a second. As a combo starts, he will drop it, and that down smash will, I mean, one straight hit, not quite that dash attack, but one hit could be the deciding factor that puts it away.
Tilts that do take stocks. They Nair able to get Nimstapa back off stage. I'm expecting another forward tilt. No, Roy goes for the up air and
keep a large advantage, but a missed grab and a risky play from Roy might cost him his life, not quite. He will not be able to make it back, or found a grab on him earlier, but can't get a back throw to kill. Now, still no punish in a back air. Up to 100% should go down very soon.
It's a matter of finding that last option,
there
the up
is.
smash.
And now, finding some damage of his own as he's up all the way up to 150% will go down.
Well, yes, that is the move that is keeping a distance. Beyond that,
more and more dangerous, and we would hope that Igloo is able to find one more string, one more combo, and there it is.
It's going to be the PK Fire or the grab. There it is, and that is the game that you have to play. That is the fighting game.
Mind over here as a down air still will not finish the job. Another bell comes out, and that will do the hurling abilities, throwing hitboxes faster than any game we've seen yet today. As now Rob finds a bell and will find an up smash to confirm a kill, but at
the bell again. And I mean, he's been doing a really good job of controlling these bells and is holding these bells and is able to get a down air onto the Pac-Man. But Pac-Man saying the tempo of this game is starting to slow down a little bit. But the tech situation is special, something we saw a lot in the last round. As we do see, there it is again, that Kazuya. He's sitting in the shield for just a little too long. You know what to expect. And now AJ catching out the double jump, getting Kazuya off stage, following him, and is able to take. You're going to sit in the shield. That is what you have to be aware of. And so safe distance and try to keep it up. But a Kazuya electric combo will honestly close stocks on their own. But a nice electric wing God fist will.
But a down smash the other way, and a reflected laser still doesn't do the job. Would do now. And
my goodness.
A down air the other way.
A up tilt, but a
great man. Now going off stage to finish the job. A down air into a forward smash. That's
unless, of course, he has the bell,
which he sure does.
For some other options, which means that when you're falling into stuff, Jigglypuff throwing out the forward air and dancing back and jumps into the forward smash.
A great look from Kip, although it doesn't quite work out. Now a stun will lead to
Kip poking the shield and keeping the Rob on his toes. But the down air comes out. Higher game, but now here's the other side of that coin. The amount of pressure Kip has when he has
to set in, right? Pac-Man potentially taking
This is where it becomes risky as the Rob down air will connect. And
If Samus is able to find
the trip,
one kill, but rolling back.
Falls out of the multi-hit, the dash attack will not take it, and the laser is not the strong version, but jumps up another stock. And now it is 152 that will knock Rob into the air, but won't be enough. The forward air following up next. And Samus is able to make it back. I apologize. I did not think that would be the case. As now we do see jumping over the PK fire and is able to the stage. PK freeze, putting up the pressure, and an igloo down air.
Really lethal as the Lulu looking for
my goodness.
kill. Oh, barely gonna find it.
But a return on the other side of the map here.
Meanwhile, gonna get slowed by the Kog'Maw E. They're looking for a kill. Split damage again. Lulu looking to kill the Xayah. Gonna find it. The Ignite going down. They're looking for a kill to get the reset. They're not gonna get it. Lulu's living on 1 health. Does have the flash soon. The Polymorph gonna come out. The shield. Diego aren't quite as far, not being able to follow up on that knockup. So I think they just need to coordinate better on who they're going on, and they can find those kills, find those resets for Viego, and be a lot more successful in those ganks as,
Wow!
wrecked.
Came down to the fact that it lasted just a little too long. Renekton was able to ult, generate the instant 50 Fury, and was able to get that very nice shred Q. But the Viego is topside and is also getting Chunk having to ult out. The Ahri dashes in and gets
I see a fight mid here. Kog'Maw trying to fight for his life, but Viego able to pick one up. Lulu trying to pick one up as well, able to get it with the Kog'Maw passive as they trade 1 for 2 here in the favor of Shenandoah, as Exil trying to look for a kill, able to push it out, but another charm coming in from the Rakan, not able to kill, as the Talia dismounting the wall, able to just burst the... Oh my gosh! Not able to find the kill on the Galaxy Bird. The Renekton coming in on the Herald, able to knock up.
Oh my goodness!
I don't think he sees the guy right there. Does find the guy planting the bomb. Cultivates it into his second. 1v3 looking for the clutch, looking for the last two. He's gonna find one. Another one wants it with us.
Absolutely a must make because of the ease
An
of them.
easy what? The rest of his team is slowly collapsing. The Sombra is the last one. Oh, and Voidex with the clutch.
Ella gonna get the Nair, starting up the Nair train. Boy cannot get out of it. What are we gonna see? The forward air, then down air!
Taking some form of space outside the spawn door, but Dragonblade's gonna look to take it right back with a huge shatter. Oh my god! Another pick! Another pick! Oh, he just keeps going in the bang!
Hard point in the hand of the other team. Toxic tried to find one, finds a second. Does he get the 30?
Finishes off with the pistol!
The entire team in front of him, and he's gonna find more! The ace, actually!
Push all the way corner, and Gingy staying deep instead of going defensive like usual.
Oh my god, it's Kickoff probably with a 4-piece!
You thought we were done. Frankly, we thought we were done too. But we are back once again with another Shenandoah University Smash Bros competition. My name is Chris Clayton, and I'm joined once again by my brother Kevin. And we are live from rainy, somewhat nasty Winchester, Virginia. And we are back because, as if any of you were able to tune into our last Smash stream, we unfortunately lost our playoff match in NECC playoff competition, but that's not the only league we're competing in, is it? This isn't traditional sports, excuse me. This is not the NCAA. We are also in NECC, so we are back today with another playoff matchup.
Yes, and if there's any matchup that I feel as though we're going to see even more exciting high-action gameplay, it is going to be this one. The last time around, we saw our players go head-to-head and bring these crew battles down to last stock situations where it was incredibly close the entire time. Comebacks from both sides. It was incredibly close. But as we enter into this one, there have been rumblings of the potential matchups that we're going to be up against today with players in potentially the top 50 in the world.
Yeah.
So if you want to watch some super high-level Super Smash Brothers and see where Shenandoah ends up, stick around. It'll be great.
High-octane gameplay coming right at you in, I don't know, about 10 minutes. But yes, so we, Shenandoah University, will be facing up against Stony Brook. One of Stony Brook's multiple Smash Bros. Teams, actually, as our team got to play the other Stony Brook Smash team in round 1 of the NECC playoffs, and now in round 2 get to play them again. Just based off of how the seeding fell, our roster fell in the 5th seed, so they won their week 1 matchup and now get to play, as you put it, a roster of incredible players. We'll get into matchups pretty soon here, but I mean, yeah, we're talking nationally ranked, nationally recognized, internationally recognized players on Stony Brook's roster.
And that speaks to the level of the competition when it comes to this game, because you look at the fighting game community, right, and it's relatively small for some of the other bigger name esports out there. Smash Bros. Is stand out on its own because it has a bigger community following than some of those more traditional fighters. But even so, 50 people, the amount of people you would expect to go into like a restaurant. You would walk in, you would see, oh, there's your wait staff, all of that. 50, you can count easily in a
get like
short
50
period.
people in this room.
Yeah, like you can bring all of those players in here and hold a normal conversation. That is baffling to think about, and we're going to witness that competition live.
Yeah, and it's so strange to think about, and especially when you're pulling from the entire world, right? This is a pretty big room to us. We have the luxury of having a great facility here at Shenandoah, but I mean, like, yeah, top 50 in the world is nothing to scoff at, and so enough, gloating about the other team's players. We'll get into that pretty soon, but as we talk about Shenandoah's roster, right, saying that it's been all year. The good old-fashioned Nipstafa on Wolf, AJ on Falco, Kip on the Pac-Man, and Igloo, presumably, I don't want to get ahead of myself, on Yoshi. Now, we could get some alternatives depending on how the day goes, as we saw last week or a couple days ago. But we'll see. Again, don't want to get ahead of myself. But yeah, how do we feel about the boys? How are they looking?
They're feeling pretty good so far. The only big thing that I got to do is after the competition last week, there was a bit of a, like, we did good, everybody take a breather sort of thing. I know a lot of people, there's multiple ways you can take that sort of loss, and some people like to just jump back into the action, but the Smash team took a step back. They said, we need to breathe for a second. It's been a lot of intense competition. We're in the busy part of the school semester. We're heading into April. Graduation stuff is in May. Like all these crazy projects and stuff are building up. So the Smash team said, let's take a step back. And so they did. Took a little bit of a breather and have now started warming up once again. But also, I got the chance to talk a little bit more and analyze a little bit deeper into people playing different characters than what you would expect. More so these secondaries in an online environment. We see a lot. If I'm the best at my character, you wouldn't want to see this sort of like, that's what you would expect to go into it. But we've seen multiple times where players have started changing up their characters, especially at these higher levels. And so I'm starting to think more and more about, yes, there is a difference between the online world and the in-person world and what you see at these tournaments, getting the top placings and all of that. But I wonder if now it's becoming more normal, if Ultimate has been out long enough that you can truly start to see, like, okay, I feel very comfortable on this character that has been doing well in person, but not all competition is in person. And so I need to have a character that can do well in the other environment. And I think we're going to see a bit more of that today.
Yeah, if we translate that straight into Stony Brook's roster, what we've been able to find through our research before the game, our team's research before the game, is well, there are a couple names on this roster that some of you deep into the Smash community may recognize. They have, most notably, Quid at the top of their roster.
Yeah, buddy.
A player with a major in his belt. Like, that's nothing to scoff at, right? This is a, as I put it earlier, internationally recognized player. And he plays Pokemon Trainer. But this is the one team that our roster lost to in the NECC regular season. So our guys got to play against Stony Brook and experience their characters, their playstyle. But Quid, and not only Quid, played a different character. So Quid's main character is Pokemon Trainer, and that's who he used at the Major. But we're expecting, based off our last appearance against this team, that we might see a Pac-Man.
Yes, and that speaks to the playstyle. Last broadcast, I mentioned so many times about taking up space and characters that have such good control by just controlling the space with huge projectiles or just big hitboxes, and how useful that is. When you look at Pokemon Trainer's kit, there's not a ton that does that, and not in a fast manner. The only Pokemon that really covers a good amount of space, like horizontally, is Ivysaur, and the side special, while yes, is a great move in and of itself and creates a great situation for Ivysaur to potentially follow up on, it's not fast enough for an online environment to take advantage of. But then you look at a character like Pac-Man, who neutralizes a lot of horizontal interactions with that fire hydrant, is able to really just play this own game. And when you're in an online environment, that's really what you need.
Yeah, and we have the pleasure of seeing the impact of Pac-Man online every week. Yeah. Because we have what I like to think of being one of the best Pac-Man players, I would say, in the world, but what do I know? So yeah, we've seen with our own eyes the impact Pac-Man can have in an online environment. But moving past Quid as a player, they have another phenomenal player on their roster who should not be overlooked in Quid's shadow, and in the form of Cody. Cody plays Peach, who, in the same bed, I guess, also struggles in online environments.
Yes, there was a time where you would see Peach and Daisy players online in this more like, in a very like turn-up based sort of game plan, but more at a distance, and it would work fine. But there hit a point where you see more Peach in person because the character is so mechanically intensive. I mean, just about every top-level Peach player probably has carpal tunnel, because they're just, it's so much. There's so much that you have to do. They switch from normal grip to claw grip to whatever they want. Some of them have picked up boxes just because it hurts.
Yeah.
But the character is so incredibly good, but at a cost, and you have to be incredibly precise. And so when you're in an online environment, once again, where there's just that little bit of delay, it adds a whole different element to all of this, and that means that you probably want something else. You can't rely on these frame-perfect combos, frame-perfect inputs, which means you have to fall back on something else.
And what is that something else for Cody but what we anticipate to be a Sonic pick? And Sonic is, I feel like, a lot less precise, very forgiving, very fast mobile character. Do you want to talk about that matchup?
Yeah, he has definitely he covers a lot more space, not in the sense of the Rob that we saw last week, where it's big hitboxes, but it's the fact that he's moving fast.
Yeah.
He covers so much space so quickly that you need to be on top of your reactions, on top of the delay environment, and that can bring a whole element of surprise. But to put that into perspective, Sonic is a top-level character offline as well. He's getting top placings at offline tournaments consistently, and because of that, it just speaks to the level of the character. The character is incredibly good, and it takes time to learn how to pilot it, right? You do have to play very different than you would expect in a fighting game to really have a full understanding of Sonic, and it's a lot of get your hit in and sort of space it out. You have to step away, you have to walk away a little bit, and either whiff punish your opponent or just accept that you won that exchange and just walk away. It's as simple as that. And so if we see this Sonic today, that's the big thing you at home are going to want to be looking at, is these sort of interactions. What can be punished by Sonic, and what should you just accept and then move on for another new neutral interaction?
Yeah, and there's another topic that I kind of want to bring back from, we touched on quite a bit last week, was the experience that our team has had to go through to get to this point. And one of the big roadblocks that our team had to overcome was a big deficit at Game Mason. And the biggest deficit at Game Mason came at the hands of a Sonic player. Now, we lost, every game we played except for one on seeding day. But we managed to come back the next day and way outperform expectations. And that included AJ, our Falco player, dogging this Sonic that we had to overcome. ODU's Sonic player, who's an incredible Sonic player too.
Oh yeah.
So speaking to the success of Sonic offline as well as online, but more specifically our team's experience against Sonic, I'm very, very curious to see how that may play out today.
And it's weird because that matchup is so reliant on getting Sonic out of that spin dash. Again, the character covers up so much space, but it falls on that interaction of, do you have an option to beat out spin dash? Do you have a way to stop spin dash? Or do you have a controlling way of covering space? And so when it comes to all of these different ways to deal with the character, Falco's a unique case because he doesn't cover up a lot of space, but yet when he gets his advantage state, he did a great job of really running away with it. And I think that's what it's going to take for this crew battle, is you can't let the nerves get to you and just say, I will find my little opportunities for advantage and snowball it all the way.
Yeah, well, now, as we look to get into our first game of the series, we have a bit of a twist coming for Game 1 as Shenandoah sends out Kip on the Pac-Man to be our first contender.
Yes, and so we have the Mega Man versus Pac-Man matchup, and this is a lot of what this matchup is going to be right out the gate, is that it's a lot of just zoning each other out and trying to stay out of each other's burst zones. You see the Mega Man staying at this lemon pellet area where he uses the jab to space out the Pac-Man and stay at a safe distance where if Pac-Man's going to engage, it's going to be on Mega Man's terms. We just witnessed a SD to start things off, a Leaf Shield eating the input of the up special if I had to bet, and with the online to boot, I imagine it's not a good feeling.
Yeah, too much to overcome, but back to the matchup perspective, right? Something we know about Mega Man specifically is how much he struggles when he's the one that has to engage, right? Something that you preach ad nauseum is playing to your opponent's game. Well, in this matchup, Pac-Man's in control. Pac-Man can run away and, like you said, silence the horizontal game with his fire hydrant. Look at that, doing exactly what we just talked about. So I'm curious to see how this will go, right? Kip up to 120% so far with an SD in his pocket, but a close matchup so far, relatively speaking.
Yes, and we do see the Mega Man throwing out all of the projectiles, trying to get rid of that fire hydrant, and because it didn't send very far, the air dodge back to the stage will take that stock. But we do see it once again. Here's the game plan, and now Kip trying to send the fire hydrant back. None of Mega Man's moves are taking out the fire hydrant in a single hit, which means that Kip is able to sort of space out what he wants. But look at this. When the bell is thrown out, normally we see Kip able to go up and grab that relatively securely, but Mega Man, again, at that sweet spot where he can just poke Pac-Man out a little bit and make it so that he can't grab that bell. So now, as we see Pac-Man trying to get back into the center of the stage and get a little bit more of the stage control, it is a projectile game. You do have to respect your opponents, and with that, a back air on the landing will take another stock off of Kip.
Yeah, this looks very uncomfortable too. This is not a playstyle we've had to see Kip play in very often, because the playstyle we do see him play often is right up in your face, like we just saw. A forward smash off of a missed tech will easily secure any stock, as now Kip looks for it all. but will miss the forward smash. But again, now we're back to this range game that we haven't seen Kip have to deal with very often, and it looks like he's not super comfortable in it.
Yes, and a lot of it comes down to the Mega Man is doing a great job of dealing with the fire hydrant in a proper fashion, which is staying at this distance away from not Pac-Man necessarily, but the hydrant, spacing that out, because Pac-Man has a lot of options that go through it and can really space that out. But now Mega Man's saying, I'm just not going to deal with it. These blades will go through that fire hydrant. I'll get rid of it myself, and I'll go for my options. A quick landing into the up tilt will get a uppercut onto the Pac-Man and close out this, which means Pac-Man goes down early.
Yeah, and that's an interesting move there out of Mega Man, a move that we haven't seen or hadn't seen for that entire match. But Mega Man up tilt is a very strong move. It comes out very fast, then it kills. So an unfortunate ending for Shenandoah there, as now our heaviest hitter historically is off the board. We'll see who Shenandoah is able to send out next. But, I mean, great play out of that Mega Man.
Oh, absolutely. And I do like how that play went, because we saw a lot of characters with projectiles don't have answers necessarily to that hydrant. A lot of the projectiles get stopped. And while I do think that the Saw Blade going through was its own sort of nice advantage for Mega Man going into that, the other big thing is that a lot of the moves that Mega Man would throw out would knock the hydrant away, but not far. When Pac-Man hits the hydrant with like a forward smash or something, the hydrant goes flying across the stage.
Right.
Instead, the fire hydrant would move just slightly, and it would keep bouncing, and it would stay there. It'd be this lingering hurt box for this really long period of time. And we say it all the time on this, when you have something that's sitting there and taking up space, you can play around that to the best of your ability and really get something special off of it. Mega Man, being the one who's hitting the fire hydrant, is the one who's allowed to walk through it and sort of get an advantage off of that play. So I think a lot of that just came down to really good spacing by the Mega Man player. And if going forward SU wants to potentially throw up that same matchup, it's going to take a little bit more breathing room from Kip, but I don't know what sort of situation would allow that.
For sure, yeah. And as we now look to Shenandoah's response, down one stock, as we always say, if you're going to be down, now's the time to do it. A 10-9 advantage for Stony Brook as Shenandoah opts to send out Nipstafa on the Wolf, who starts with an interesting interaction launched across the stage already. But how do you feel about this matchup? This is an interesting...
Yep, and that's a lot of what this matchup has to offer, is that while Mega Man does play this sort of ranged boxing game, it is all around Wolf, who is so good at playing in your face. The problem is that his recovery is just a little so-so. And so when you're thrown into these awkward spots, yes, you will lose that stock, but in the opposite hands, when Nipstafa is the one with the advantage, the stocks will be taken.
Yeah, very well done. Textbook stock there from Nipstafa. Unfortunately, though, with the cost of an early death. So
it's a 1-for-1, right?
Yeah, 1-for-1 is not terrible at all, but with how clean that stock was just taken, it stings just a little bit. But at the end of the day, again, one stock advantage for Stony Brook is certainly nothing to be panicking about.
If you have to be down, this is how you want to do it. But also, I am very happy to see that Nipstafa, I mean, yes, you go down early, and that's fine or whatever. He came off of that respawn platform and said, yeah, like, what do you expect me to do? You expect me to start getting upset over this? No, it happened, and so let me play my game, and then, oh, suddenly there are claws in your robot gut, and so you are off this stage.
Yeah, and that's the fighting game mentality, right? You got to be able to shake moments like that off and move on, especially when your fighting game is in a team setting. Smash Bros. Has a very strange structure compared to most fighting game communities and scenes. So you can't let moments like that get to you. Clearly, Nipstafa did not. And we'll see if hopefully that can translate into whoever Stony Brook sends out next.
Yeah, and so now the Mega Man is off the table. This is a character that we heard about leading into this that would potentially cause a little bit of disruption into Shenandoah's game plan, but it has been dealt with. We've talked a little bit about the two behemoths that are sitting in the back for the opponent, and so now it's a matter of, do you send them in now, or do you have another player in reserve that may want to try and thin things out a little bit more so that you have these two titans in the back who can really close out these crew battles.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, and I am confident that Stony Brook did their own research as well, in the same way that we have, and they know the value that Shenandoah has now lost in the form of Kip, right? Kip is out for another 8 stocks at least for Shenandoah. So we'll see how that turns out in a couple games from now, but for this game, it will be Steve, not playing Steve, on Ike.
Yeah, and so Ike, man, it feels like we do not see as much of this character as we used to, because he has this playstyle of a very sort of create space with your neutral air. That sword that he just swings around, it's very safe on shield and it leads into a lot. So you'll see Ike go for these aerials and try to get a combo started off of that move, but that means that in response, Mustafa is going to have to do a job of dancing around the move and trying to punish. Because it's so safe, the Ike Nair, it's on Mustafa to find these opportunities elsewhere, but at the same time, it's not going to be provided off of that move. We see Mustafa getting the forward air off of Ike jumping into the air rather than the landing of the Nair, and that is what's going to create this advantage.
An interesting move there, quite a change-up, but yeah, you're right. With how just massive Ike Nair is, now Mustafa able to find his way back to the stage, but I mean, it's just such a great move to really start whatever you want, and with how safe it is, like you just mentioned, I mean, it feels so hard to deal with, but we see Mustafa able to find an answer for now, right? Dodging most of them, and frankly, Ike struggles a lot if he can't start with an air. So Mustafa with another recovery. We're back to this awkward neutral state of even percents. One hit could just about take it all for either side.
This is a very sound strategy coming out from the Ike, using the up special to space himself back onto the ledge, using the invincibility frames, but it won't get him necessarily the advantage that he wants. A very nice short hop into a back roll, and the tomahawk grab, able to close out that stock. Ike returning it in stride with a falling up air from the platform. A 1-for-1 trade, and very well played by both players.
Yeah, and a great observation and adaptation to the opponent's ledge control, right? Both players having to deal with, like, Ike jumping on the ledge and just looking for a side B to get back on, or Mustafa able to know that he was going to hold that shield and would not be able to react in time to a quick roll and a grab. Just very, very well done. Great smash.
Absolutely. And so now, as both players are starting to eat up percent, Ike going for the grab and not able to get much more of a follow-up, Mustafa trying to punish Ike, staying just a little too high, gets the up smash with Mustafa having the center stage, at least for now, but Ike is sitting in a very comfortable spot, right? He has this space to start throwing out these aerials. There are the nairs to start things up, but he's not going for anything more. He's very cautious in trying to take the stock and is willing to play things a little bit slower, which is something that you have to be able to do in a crew battle. Not everything needs to be flashy, not everything needs to be this sort of quick, easy action, but you can really take your time and look for the simpler things like the up special, as now Ike is the one on the side. Wolf, another back roll, is able to get the grab and gets Ike off of the stage, but a quick draw will bring Ike back.
Yeah, and all of these nairs without much follow-up are really starting to rack up those. Mustafa finds himself at 123%. Right, it hasn't felt like we've seen many combos, many long strings to get us to this point, but it's all been nairs, random stray nairs that are catching Mustafa and just racking up damage. Now, Ike gets a grab, doesn't find a kill off of it yet, but misses the other grab, and Wolf won't be able to find a kill off this one either. We'll see if he's able to protect from the ledge. A side B will protect Ike instead, and now a forward tilt from the back half of the stage will send him all the way across, and that percentage comes back to bite. And Ike finds a win with 2 stocks remaining, and that's a 2-stock advantage for Stony Brook.
Yes, and that matchup played about as textbook as you would expect it to, because it was a lot of just controlling, staying relatively safe, and just playing to what your character's advantages are. You have Ike, who was playing a lot around that nair, and Mustafa, who very early on was punishing a lot on Ike jumping. The Ike nair was on the landing part of it. He would always hold it and then start using it as he was about to hit the ground. That's where it's really safe. But once Nimstafa started to punish the rise of Ike when he would jump up into the air, instead, Ike would start to use that a little bit earlier, would start to use the Nair on the rising hitbox and punish Nimstafa for trying to get up in the air on that punish hitbox. And then from there, it was just a lot of small neutral win interactions, a couple of stray hits, building up that percent, and then both players looking for that final hit. And it just so happens Ike's forward tilt was the one to do it.
Yeah, and that's what the greats do, right? They take little advantages anywhere they can find them and run away with them. And so those little interactions like you're talking about, that was great analysis of how Nimstafa found himself at 120% from what felt like not too many bad interactions. But a great performance all around. Now Shenandoah down to 2 players remaining. We anticipate, in my opinion at least, that we save Igloo for last, right? For this anchor sort of mentality, although we did not see that last week or really in previous matchups because our anchor historically has been Kit, Kevin.
Yeah, and generally I feel as though Igloo as an anchor has been incredibly sound and has its place. I do think that there are matchups that could cause problems. Generally, when you have an anchor, you want a character or a player who's very confident in a game plan against a majority of the roster. The kind of character that in very niche situations will be able to play their game plan to win and close out the game. But Yoshi is a bit of a special case. Yoshi plays differently than the Spaceys, but has his own sort of boxing mentality where he's very floaty and can fall out of a lot of combos that start off with like multi-hits or chip damage or stuff along those lines. And so because of that, Yoshi finds his advantages in disadvantage, which is weird to say, but there's a place for it. And in those matchups, you would see Yoshi shine, but there aren't a majority of those in the Smash Bros. Sort of like roster. As much as I think Igloo will have his place, if it's going to be on the Yoshi, that's fine, but he's going to want as much character information as he can, which means that whoever goes in next is hoping to take down as many characters or at least get as much information as possible.
Yeah, and that's a massive advantage for Stony Brook, right? We talked about it before the series even started, how these 2 heavy hitter players, these 2 reserve players that we haven't seen yet have options. When we played against them last, we noticed that they were not playing their mains. And they're their mains. Like, right. It's not like they're going to forget. So we know that they have multiple characters, multiple options that our roster doesn't quite seem to have, although, again, we did see the Samus come out of nowhere last week from Igloo, and maybe that's the answer. We'll have to see, but it certainly seems uncomfortable to have to send in a pocket pick, a niche response pick like Samus in a situation like this.
Chris, I'm being spoiled a little bit, and when I get spoiled, I see some things that I'm not normally expecting.
So speaking of backup picks.
So we do see right now, AJ is sent in. Normally the Falco player of Shenandoah is now playing Me Gunner. And while we don't know the moveset just yet, we do see the grenade coming out early on, and I do think that that has its own place in the Ike matchup. If Ike is ever off stage in an awkward spot, he will not be able to make it back because of those grenade plays. But it's going to be getting into that situation first, as right now, Me Gunner is just looking for a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah, and we've talked about backup picks, but I didn't even know this backup pick existed. Like, how do you feel about this into Ike specifically, but also into the picks we're somewhat anticipating next?
Yeah, Me Gunner is definitely a more unique character, has his own sort of niche to fill, which is he is a character that takes up a lot of space, but the space he takes up takes time. It requires a good amount of setup, and so when you're able to get in like that Ike and get that back air off, that is the part that you really need to play around, but a couple of good up airs and a nice smash attack will send Ike off stage, but he's high up in the air, which means he can use that quick draw to get back onto the stage, as now an advantage state on a small stage will mean that Ike is the one who's eating good right now.
Yeah, and with such a big range, it almost feels like a lot of these range advantages I would give to a Me Gunner are being pretty much matched by the very tip of Ike's sword, right? These nairs that are just so overwhelming, so oppressive, and everywhere on the stage seemingly all at once. Now as Ike finds his way all the way back in the blink of an eye, and before you know it, Me Gunner's off stage.
Yeah, and we have another sort of situation where Me Gunner is sitting under the platform trying to get that advantage off with the projectiles given. We have seen all of the special moves at this point, and they do have their own place. A nice hit will send Ike up into the top blast zone, but it is all going to be on closing this. A nice walk up slowly and down smash from the Ike player, but wasn't able to have it connect, and Me Gunner sitting in a safe spot off stage does go just a little too high, isn't able to grab the ledge, and a neutral special will connect, taking out another stock off of AJ.
And that hitbox was above Link's head, right? AJ going for what I would think to be the right answer of recovering high after seeing Ike start to charge up his neutral B with how massive that hitbox can get horizontally. But sure enough, one charged enough neutral B from Ike goes enough above his head to find AJ. A tragic end to that stock, and now AJ up to 80% again. But we'll see if these nairs can land and find a combo to put this stock away in favor of Stony Brook.
Yeah, we do see AJ able to connect the smash attack, going for a couple more grenades, trying to catch the quick draw again, but instead Ike going up high this time and is able to punish the double jump, getting that stock and closing it out. Ike still in play.
Yeah, great awareness there from that Ike player to, as you said, it punished the double jump. I mean, AJ did a great job of sort of running around playing his range, and as we saw how oppressive Ike's range can be and travel distance with his side B and nair, what's the word I'm looking for, radius, I guess. Doing a great job for most of the game, but now being caught trying to run away just a little too close to the blast zone.
Yeah, and a lot of that felt good. Like, you see that matchup, you're like, I think I know how this works, and you know where your advantages lie, but there are a couple of small things. We talked about this before when you pick a character up, that there are, yes, you can get the base understanding. You have a very strong concept of how you want it to be playing, but there are these small nitpicky things. Ike's short hop multiple times was able to jump over the grenade. Both players shooting him out, and Ike's hitbox barely dancing around. Grenade right here, Ike just barely above it, which means that he's not getting hit and has full advantage, which means that you have this nice lead up, which can lead into some crazy combos and lead into great stings. There's so much that goes into it.
It's moments like these where I wish if any of you watched NFL at any point in your life, where we had those like drawing boards that like John Madden would always use of like, yep, he's over here, you know. That was such a great little demonstration of jumping over the grenade.
I talk a lot with my hands. Okay?
No, it was great. It was great. It just made me laugh. But anyway, back to Smash Bros. Ultimately, great performance out of Ike to now take 2 players off Shenandoah's roster and still be alive. We will see if the one remaining player, who now we know to be Igloo, will pick the Yoshi that we're expecting, or maybe it will be the Samus. Maybe he's got another pick that we don't even know about, right? The theme of today and last week has been surprises, and I did just catch a glimpse of the screen behind us, as it will be a Pyra Mithra pick.
Aegis against Ike. Interesting. Now, when it comes to your sword characters, you would assume that the more length you have, the better off you are. But Jintus, unable to dash off for that one stock. I digress.
Great analysis.
Yeah, it was beautiful. We do see Pyra Mithra, the range is just a little bit smaller on Mithra, but the speed, the frame data is what you're going to be able to play around. And so it's going to be on Igloo to sort of find his way in, find these initial hits to try and close out this stock. But to do that, it requires a good amount of setup. And Mithra isn't the kind of character who normally takes the stocks early, as we do see a side special come out from Igloo trying to punish the landing from Jintus. Isn't going to be enough, but Taco getting a good nair string, trying to go for the up air, isn't able to get it. But now a good tomahawk grab into the up air, again calling out that double jump, is able to connect, and now it's all just falling into SBU's hands.
Yeah, and we've seen Igloo in these types of situations before, including just last week, right? Igloo in a really tight situation, having to climb up a hell of a hill in potentially looking for 3 stocks on multiple players. Now, he came so close last week, but it started with a run like this where he needed to take 1 stock off of a player that was just being a pest for the rest of Shenandoah's roster, and Igloo unfortunately lost just a few too many stocks to that 1 player. Now Igloo will find a forward smash to put this Ike away, but down 1 stock again, 2-6. Can Igloo take 2 players by himself with only 2 stocks? We shall see.
I am definitely a believer that if there's a character that can do it, it is definitely the Aegis, it is definitely Pyramithra, because the character is so incredibly sound, it's so incredibly safe in a lot of aspects, but you need to be consistent, and you need to have a very strong grasp of what you're doing. Similar to Sonic in that fashion. While yes, that character, when you are watching, sometimes you're like, I feel like he's doing the same thing over and over. Believe me, the community agrees, but it really comes down to the fact that it takes time and strategy to find your ins. And so if you have to say, so be it, and just take that neutral and walk away, like do your interaction, walk away, that's all that it needs to be, and you need to leave it at that, which means it takes familiarity. Hate to be against Igloo on this one, but there's a Pyra and Mithra that we haven't seen yet, and so it worries me. But I worry a lot. This is my brother, if you haven't heard. He tells me that a lot. So if I'm going to worry, Chris always reassures me that it could be fine. So we'll have.
It could be fine.
Yeah, it's probably fine. We'll get into the game and we'll see how it goes.
Right. Yeah. I mean, only one way to find out, and it's to play it out. But now we are reaching into the depths of Stony Brook's reserves. And what is the answer but a Lucina? Again, a pick we were not expecting. I can't tell you how many times I've said that just this series, but here we are with Brave Star playing Lucina.
Yes, another sword character. We're getting the full Fire Emblem lineup as well as a good amount of Xenoblade. You know, it's a lot of anime on screen right now, and that's okay. But we do see Igloo's advantage. I am eating my words to start this off because we are seeing an amazing advantage state coming out from Igloo as Lucina is already at 83 as the Pyro switches out, and there's not a lot of breathing. Oh my goodness, Igloo.
Good Lord.
Oh man, I need to apologize after this broadcast is over because holy cow, this Pyro Mithra is putting in work against a character who is also incredibly fundamentally sound. But a quick dancing blade will get Mithra off stage. An early up special will mean that Igloo goes down because he doesn't have the double jump. And so now we see where the weakness lies, is a Mithra off stage without that double jump and a nice quick charged forward smash from Brave Star. But as we continue to see, Brave Star still with 2 stocks remaining, and the Mithra Igloo on his last stock for this go around. We should see any sort of high smash attack power coming out from Igloo soon, because the nice thing, as much as Mithra is fast and really controls space, Pyra can take stocks so incredibly early, and I think that will be the factor that really equalizes this if Igloo is to bring it back. As now Lucina is the one on the ledge, dashes back, baits out the jump from Igloo. Mithra having to go low, is able to tech, and is able to get stage control back.
Yeah, very, very well done to stay alive, keep the series alive, as Igloo's able to find a tech and find his way back on the stage and just find a quick kill onto Lucina. But now, basically a miracle for Igloo is what this would take to put 1 stock away, but if he's able to find this 1 stock, his 108% resets. So certainly light at the end of the tunnel, but very far down the tunnel as Igloo finds himself very off stage and won't quite find the recovery. Igloo goes down for Shenandoah, and Stony Brook will take this first game.
I am so confused, but also so fascinated because there have been times where we on the desk will be like, oh, we're expecting to see these characters, and I like to say that we are right most of the time.
Right.
The couple of times where we aren't, we see game plans that are similar to the characters that they originally play. We just saw a Lucina player coming out of nowhere. That doesn't play like Pac-Man, that doesn't play like Sonic, that doesn't play like Pokemon train. That's its own kind of game plan. There's a reason why that character is good on the tier list. People will solo that character. So I am fascinated by the player picking that, but also we're usually not wrong about our own players.
Yeah. Yeah, we're learning a lot about our own team here in the last couple weeks, and I'll be curious to see if that was one of the 4 players we were even anticipating to see, because I noticed that Bravestar was not a username that we were expecting. So, I don't know. We'll have to see soon-ish, but for now, with Stony Brook up 1-0 in the series, we are going to take a quick break, so don't go anywhere, and we will be right back with Game 2.
A safe distance where Pac-Man's going to engage, it's going to be on Mega Man's terms. We just witnessed a
matchup so far, relatively speaking.
Yes, and we do see the Mega Man throwing out all of the projectiles, more of the stage control. It is a projectile game. You do have to respect your opponents, and with that, a back air on the left.
Yeah, this looks very uncomfortable too. This is not a playstyle we've had to see. A forward smash off of a missed tech will...
These blades will go through that fire hydrant. I'll get rid of it myself, and I'll go for my options.
This is a interesting...
Yep, and that's a lot of is that his recovery is just a little so-so. And so when you're thrown into these awkward spots, yes, to get him necessarily the advantage that he wants. A very nice short hop into a back roll, and the tomahawk grab, able to close out that stock. Ike returning it in stride with a falling.
If he's able to protect from the ledge, a side B will protect Ike instead. And now a forward tilt from the back.
The space he takes up takes time. It requires a good amount of setup off stage. Does go just a little too high, isn't able to grab the ledge, and a neutral. We do see AJ able to connect the smash attack, going for a couple more grenades, trying to catch the quick draw again, but instead isn't able to get it. But now a good tomahawk grab into the up air again.
A player that was just being a pest for the rest of Shenandoah's roster, and Igloo unfortunately lost just a few too many stocks to that one player. Now Igloo will
worry a lot. This is my brother, if you haven't heard. He tells me that a lot. So if I'm going to worry, you know, it's a lot of anime on screen right now, and that's okay. But we do see Igloo's advantage. I am eating my words to start this off, because we are seeing an amazing advantage state coming out from Igloo, as Lucina is already at 83 as the Pyro switches out, and there's not a lot of breathing. Oh my goodness, Igloo.
Good. Very well done to stay alive, keep the series alive, as Igloo's able to find a technical. And just like that, we're back. I hope you were able to grab a snack, a quick bathroom break, because we are getting straight back into the action. But, Kevin, Shenandoah down 1-0 in this series. We got a quick opportunity to just talk to our players, actually. How are you feeling? How are they feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I feel the one factor when we talk about picking new characters is... like, you know, we're always talking about, like, oh, there's a little bit of, like, nitpicky things in, like, how you would play the matchup and a lot of fundamental, like, experiences with the character. But the one part we didn't talk about is the safety net of the crew battle. You have this opportunity that if you think you are going to be able to switch your character and potentially get this sort of advantage, you have that safety net to sort of experiment, to give this sort of opportunity to really push it forward. And I think that's what the Smash players were doing, is that they had an idea and they wanted to push it. And by all means, if there's anyone who encourages experimentation, it is me, even if I do get confused. But when it comes to going into this now, I'm expecting a little bit more of what we've seen in the past and playing more to that fundamental strength of the characters that they truly have a strong understanding of. So now, as we head into game, Pac-Man versus Mega Man, we are seeing a little bit of what I assume to be a button check. It seems like a lot of nairs and Z-drops, so that means that we're just going to vibe for a minute.
Hey, that's all right. It happens in Smash broadcasts, right? A lot of times players prefer to do a quick button check, as we talk about the lag as much as we do, this sort of input delay, get a feel for how bad it may be. But
it helps a lot.
It does, yeah. It's very real. We kind of like to make fun of it because, I don't know, it's inconvenient from a production point of view. But it is a great thing.
Y'all need to hear the production people in the back there, like, is it a button check? Do we know if it's a button check? It might not be.
Every time. Okay, yeah, I guess we can talk about this because I do direct the streams sometimes. Literally every time that a Smash game loads in, you're little 50-50 on, is this real? Like, they might just call for a button check mid-series. I don't even know.
Yeah.
But anyway. Now, as we look to get into game for real this time, Stony Brook up 1-0 in the series. It will be Pac-Man against Kip once again.
Absolutely. Now, if this matchup is going to play in a similar format as before, we saw a lot of this sort of higher hydrant playing against the Pac-Man, where he would throw it down and it would create a bit of a lead, but then it would be launched back in his face. And look at the Mega Man spacing already. Not trying to take too much, instead is going for these little advantages, as now a good apple will get the combo started, but a Fire Blade will return it in stride.
Yeah, and this has so far been, I mean, a pretty different showcase of this matchup from game one, right? We saw Pac-Man playing around the hydrant as we just saw now, but very well controlling the hydrant in the first series. Now, it has been a lot more of Pac-Man up in your face, and the style of play that we've seen Kip play to great success. So we'll see if this keeps up, as basically just keep an eye on the hydrants.
Right, absolutely. Now we do see Mega Man able to dance around these hydrants a little bit, but look how Kip is spacing it out. He's making sure he has that space, and that's what we talked about before, which means that while, yes, we did see Kip have an advantage early on in the first round of this crew battle, part of that was because Mega Man SD'd very early on, which means that now the fact that Kip is keeping up a momentum, I do think that this is the answer that SU was looking for.
Yeah, and hopefully this can keep up as we have relatively even percents, right? A whole different story from this first series, as I said before. I mean, last series started with an SD from Stony Brook. Let's not forget that. Now, both of these players having found their footing, Kip, excuse me, able to sort of sink into his element, sink into his play style. Now fighting for these hydrants, losing that one, but now a great combo leading into a back air will find a kill confirm for this Mega Man player.
Yes, and now Mega Man is at 143. While the percentages were relatively even, it really boiled down to making sure you could get the final hits of those stocks. You can live for as long as you want and really have a strong advantage, but it's a matter of closing these stocks. That's what wins you a crew battle.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we've been talking about, right? Stocks matter. I mean, stocks are your lifeblood. We say it all the time. You say it all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean, that's perfect gameplay, really.
Yes, and now we do see Kip able to throw out the apple, gets a little bit of pressure going, but the Saw Blades, again, the Saw Blade plus the side special, that explosive mine, is doing a number on these fire hydrants and is clearing them out faster than Kip can charge this fruit. And because of that, I think it's becoming a little bit difficult, again, for Kip to breathe. It's a lot of this sort of base understanding of the matchup, or the character, I should say, that has really played to that advantage. A quick down side special won't lead into anything off of the Mega Man, but again, look at that fire hydrant pressure. It offers so much.
Yeah, and it offers 100% differential as we now find Kip in the midst of a Mega Man up smash, and it will lead him straight to the blast zone. But, I mean, this is now right back to where we found ourselves in the first series. Now this is Mega Man's game, which is not what we expected, right? We thought that Mega Man might struggle in these type of situations where Mega Man kind of has to be the one to approach. But instead, he's found the answer. He's found a way, an avenue through the hydrant to victory.
Yes, and now a little bit of dancing around what Pac-Man has to offer. Kip able to get a good combo to start the stock off, but Mega Man returning it with just a little bit of chip damage over time is able to really equalize things as a nice forward smash comes out. No punish from the Pac-Man, a quick little forward tilt to get him into that Texas situation, and the key knocking him even further off stage. Here's the bell. If the stock is going to close, it's going to be this way, as a lingering hitbox, everybody's best friend, is able to get the stun and is able to get a little bit more damage onto the Mega Man. Jumping over the tech situation is able to survive a very strong back air from Kip, but again, we saw it before where the percentages can work against you for the damage build up. Will Kip be able to make it to a safe spot as the back airs keep flying?
Man, and something I want to point out is the change in playstyle. Pretty much since the last time I said that Mega Man found an avenue potentially to victory, there were 0 hydrants thrown out. Now Pac-Man, in a very tight situation, finds a saw to the face, but could still recover as he's Pac-Man and can recover from just about anything. But just outside the grab range will be enough to put the stock away for Kip, and Mega Man off to a stock advantage once again for Stony Brook.
Yes, and that is such a commanding presence. That character, I feel as though you see on occasion, and you really don't know what to expect going into the matchup. You see a lot of this projectile-based game plan, and you don't expect him to be able to fight too closely. He has a couple of options. Those back airs, the up tilt, they have their place, but it's when a Mega Man starts to dance around with the Metal Blade that things really start to unlock, and you see a lot more almost like pressure come out from the player. And so now, as we do see Mega Man up on these two stocks, I imagine we will see a similar start to what SU did before. After all, it's a lot of the same game plan.
Yeah, and last series, the answer was Nibstafa, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So, with a character like that, and I guess we did talk about it last series, with a character who needs to approach, has range capabilities in the form of his laser, but that's about it. How do you, like, two stocks against a Mega Man who's clearly very good, and a matchup, a character that our team just doesn't have a lot of experience with? How tough is that?
It's difficult, but it's not impossible. Wolf is a character that everybody agrees is incredibly solid across the board, but you don't see many results from, and that's because you need to be incredibly consistent in how you play. You need to have a very strong understanding, and while I do believe Nibstafa is one of the greatest wolves that I have ever seen, if not the greatest wolf I have ever seen, and I see a lot of those, surprisingly, it is all comes down to this sort of, can you dance around what the character has to offer? And something to point out from last time, Nibstafa, yes, did lose a stock to this Mega Man. You were going to hit on it.
Yes, I was. I was kind of doubting my memory, because I was like, I don't remember how this matchup went last time we saw it, but it's because it ended really quickly. Nibstafa did SD once, so it ended up being a 1-for-1 trade, but in terms of actual Smash gameplay, Nibstafa made quick work of the Mega Man's one remaining stock. So we'll see if he's able to do that again, but that's certainly something to start with.
Yes, and while Nibstafa did get that early lead, it did come at a cost. You need to be so incredibly cautious when you're near the ledge, not when you're off stage. We all know about the off stage, but Mega Man has so many tools to get you just barely off the stage. Doesn't need to send you far, just needs to get you in the air, and then has an incredible amount of tools to make sure you are not making your way back. So if you want to win this matchup, it's a lot of center stage control. And so if you're gonna get it, yes, you have to play Mega Man's game of dancing around these projectiles and finding your way in, but once you find your way in, you gain control of that center stage and keep the pressure, don't let off the gas. That is how you would even this matchup up. So, as we hop into game, that is what I'm hoping to see.
Yeah, as we hope to see Nibstafa truly put the pedal to the metal, I have an interaction question for you, Kevin.
I'm ready.
Wolf and Falco have a reflect. Falco's reflect goes outward from his body. Wolf's does not. If Pac-Man sends a projectile straight down from the stage, can Wolf reflect it back up?
Are you thinking of Mega Man Saw Blades, or are you thinking Pac-Man?
Mega Man.
Okay.
So Mega Man's like down air was what I had in mind. That
move can be reflected back up into the face of the person who uses it. It won't spike the person above, as wacky as that may be. But
that's a great point.
It will send them to the moon and really amplify the knockback. But it's not easy to reflect. You need to be very careful because it will stop a lot of Wolf's movement. And so when you're playing a matchup against a player who's doing an amazing job of really dancing around what each character has to offer, it is on Nibstafa to really find his like home ground and get that advantage going for the off-stage interaction, trying to wall jump back onto the stage, but a forward smash from the Mega Man will close out that stock.
Yeah, and so far, I mean, certainly uncomfortable start is now Wolf finding his aerials, finding some percentages, and finding some launches, frankly. But, I mean, still just looking a little uncomfortable, looking overwhelmed from this Mega Man's presence. so many hitboxes, so many projectiles, such range, such control coming out of this incredible Mega Man player, causing Shenandoah some issues.
Yes, I'm also noticing a couple of misinputs from both sides. A couple of small, sort of almost insignificant interactions, but that could be detrimental because we are seeing an up smash come out from the Mega Man. The back air able to connect with Nimstafa, but Nimstafa having a couple opportunities to punish and getting out almost like jabs or a couple of small interactions rather than some of the heavy hitters that we normally see. So I think there may be a little bit more at play here than we can see on the broadcast, but at the same time, a good up tilt from the Mega Man will be able to close out the stock from Nimstafa, as now a good Metal Blade able to get this combo started. 38% from the Mega Man as the Leaf Shield is racking up the percent.
Yeah, and it was a great option from Nimstafa, a very aggressive option to try to chase the tech, but unfortunately Mega Man able to roll right out of it at the end of the last stock and find a perfectly placed up tilt straight to a Nimstafa death. But enough about that. Nimstafa, unfortunately, side specials off the stage, does not land on the platform, and a tragic end to Nimstafa's run in this series.
And that, it happens. It's the kind of thing, we talk it all the time. You have to shake it off a little bit.
Yeah.
It hurts, but at the same time, we were seeing a little bit of that play sort of happen leading up to this. We talked about it, where there were just a couple of small things, a couple of opportunities where both players had these advantages and under normal circumstances would be able to punish, but weren't going for it. And I think a little bit of that could come down to the delay. I know it's hard to say, but generally that is a factor that is on both sides, and it's the kind of thing that you say everybody has to deal with it. It stinks, but so be it.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's not an excuse. Both players, both teams have to deal with the same input delay. So a tough situation, a tough game, unfortunately, for Nimstafa, but able to take one stock before he went down, as now Shenandoah sends their third player into this Mega Man in the form of AJ on his textbook Falcon.
Yes, not going for the meat gunner this time. Instead, opting for the character that he is most comfortable with, at least to my understanding. So as we see the Mega Man open things up with a good combo, we will see one return in stride from AJ as the percentages start to build up.
Yeah, and I love both of those combos from both players, right? Really setting a tone for how both players expect this matchup to go, right? Sure, this Mega Man may find a combo or two onto Falco, but if he's able to stay alive, which there it is, he will be able to find combos in return. And at the end of the day, AJ needs to just take one stock. Get this Mega Man off the screen and put the fire out.
Yes, as we do see a Clank coming out from the side specials and dash attack between Mega Man and AJ on the Falco, as now, yes, Mega Man is getting the percentage build up, is able to connect the spike, but isn't able to get much more off of it, as AJ is able to tech, gets the back air, and is able to get the Mega Man off stage, but has a bomb on him and is going to have to air dodge to dodge it, which means that Mega Man is able to get the Flame Blade off to close out that stock.
Yeah, great job to find the punish, watch for the air dodge, and sure enough, it comes right in front of you. So great punish from Mega Man, but now Falco able to find the punish back, looking to put this stock away. Now Mega Man up to 145%. Any hit could do the job, but we need to find the one. But in the meantime, Mega Man's put up 70% on AJ, right? This is not something to sleep on, however. Falco will find the one hit he needed, the one entry to put that stock away, and finally, Stony Brook's first player is off the board.
That down tilt does so much
That was
more.
crazy.
Yeah.
I was going to say that he found the down tilt to put the stock away, but I was like, no way. That was a down tilt that just launched you off the top of the blast.
The top of Callus. Like, that stage has a higher ceiling.
I mean, I guess he was at like 170 or maybe even like 180 after the hit.
Yeah, but like, that's
But
still
no,
a lot
I
of
thought
knockback.
I thought the same thing. I totally doubted myself as I was saying it. I don't know, that did a lot more than I was expecting it to.
Yeah, you normally see stocks taken with the back airs, with a lot of the forward airs off stage and stuff like that. So seeing that option is definitely definitely a more unique one, especially when Mega Man was definitely playing a lot closer to Falco near the end. You saw he was at that high percentage. Falco was at about 70, and Mega Man threw out the up tilt. He knew what he wanted. He knew he could probably take out this stock with the Rage knockback plus his own hard-hitting knockback.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the ceiling is high on that stage, but that move is pretty strong too.
Yeah.
So, with all of that being said, very well played by the Mega Man, able to start off very strong, but there are lots of players in reserve at the moment, and 2 of them are sorties. I've talked about sorties against Spaceys before, and how I don't always like it because they control a bit more space than some of the other characters do.
Yeah, and it's strange because, or it's a strange situation for Shenandoah's roster because that Mega Man took 7 stocks out of Shenandoah's 12 in this second series. Shenandoah has been on the dishing end of that, but usually it comes from Kip.
Yes.
And so this is a weird dynamic for Shenandoah's roster and a new roadblock that they're going to have to find a way to overcome if they want their season to stay alive. Somebody is going to have to step up to the plate and really find an advantage. But Stony Brook looking to put this away now, as sure enough, it will be Quid himself on the Pokemon trainer, who we said we weren't entirely expecting, but Stony Brook send in a message saying you are going home now, and we are going to send out the player who can do it.
Yes, and when we've seen a little bit of that input stuff that we were talking about before where the delay had a bit of an impact, I am surprised to see this character pulled out now of all times, because we've seen these sort of safer picks. If you are going to play Pokemon Trainer at this point, you have to be very confident, but a very good ledge trap from the Squirtle, able to time it out. It looks like that delay may not be as impactful as we may have thought, because Quid is doing a very good job of timing his options, and so now it is on AJ to find his opportunity to close this out.
Yeah, you said it. I mean, Quid making this look like it's an offline match, looking very comfortable, very much in his element, finding the perfect frames to punish these recovery attempts out of AJ, but now AJ just looking for any way in, any start to what could be just some damage, right? Not looking for a kill at this stage in the game, but unfortunately all the way up to 84% on himself. And I mean, just Quid making this look textbook.
Yeah, and I mean, right now it's a lot of tech situations. Squirtle going for the grab, trying to air dodge back onto the stage, and here comes the Ivysaur. A full kit exchange. Now the options trading in a lot of quick mobility in exchange for having a bit more projectile game, and a couple of big hitboxes will mean that we could see a potential matchup exchange, but the Charizard swap, able to get out of the combo and going for the up air to trade it back, will take the stock off of AJ.
Yeah, Pokemon Trainer with such a unique option to change characters in the middle of some of the most tight situations as sort of a pseudo air dodge into connecting moves like that. Very, very well done. And now we see the weight behind this player, right? Quid is a name that people recognize. We had one of our, fun little fact, one of our Rocket League players is pretty involved in the Smash scene, and he walked up to us while we were doing a little bit of our research, and he went, "You guys are playing against Quid?" From one of our Rocket League players. Like, this is a name. This is a presence in this community, and for good reason.
Yeah.
And we just saw that good reason.
I mean, it shows the strength of not only the character but the player. We can talk about the experience that they've had leading up to this match, about their major win, about all these other tournament winnings, and when you're playing against the Smash Bros. Community in a game with so many characters, so many potential matchups, and you are able to make yourself known, not only in the Smash community, but outside of it, that is a very strong expression of who that player is in the bigger picture. So one, kudos to them. But two, Igloo, the last player left for SU, has a very big task ahead of him.
Yeah, certainly the highest, tallest hill that we have ever asked Igloo to climb. 9 stocks in front of him, with potentially the light at the end of the tunnel being the 3 hardest stocks are right in front of him. Quid now still with 3 stocks, finding an opening combo, but could be the answer. If Igloo is able to put this game away soundly, which is a massive ask, but if he gets it done now, it gets slightly easier down the road. But we'll see. We'll get there when we get there.
Yeah, as we do see Igloo able to get the stage control pretty early on, trading the forward air with the Squirtle, and already Squirtle's at 82%, while Igloo is getting one good down grab into the up special and is able to connect the combo. Now both players sitting at about the same percent, around 90, and one good hit can close this out. Igloo able to get into a good tech position and dodge whatever potential smash attack setup Igloo was, or the Squirtle was going to go for. But now here comes Ivysaur, and while that side B that Ivysaur has is a great option, it trades with the egg, which means now both players are going to have to find another way to get close as they parry each other's moves and look for the closing option.
Yeah, now Charizard with such a massive hitbox, right? The swap to Charizard straight into up smash combo that I feel like gets memed on relatively regularly. Unfortunately does not connect for Stony Brook, and now this Charizard looking for any way to put this 140% Yoshi away, and the one forward throw will do it. Now, Charizard racking up some percentage of his own, right? Igloo able to find advantages in disadvantages, as you explained earlier, and is able to find an up air to launch Charizard up the top. But now, Squirtle's back and showing why he's so good at what he does.
Yep, and we do see the percentage already beginning to build up. Just a couple of tilts. That's all you need, is just to keep pushing your opponent just barely away so that if they go for a move, you can immediately whiff punish. And Igloo able to get back onto the stage, is able to re-secure that double jump. Squirtle going for the up smash and is able to push Yoshi off stage again.
Yeah, and these combos are really racking up, right? It doesn't feel like it might be much, but just one off-stage interaction with a character like Ivysaur with those massive up air, down air hitboxes. Now the up smash coming from Charizard as Igloo's down to his last stock, and with Quid with 2 remaining and racking up percentages. I don't know how many times I've said it, but this is starting to add up big time.
That was textbook from what I was seeing. That Charizard combo was the kind of combo that you sit there and say, I've seen this interaction before, because a lot of it came off of parries, as a Flare Blitz will be able to close it off, and it just speaks again to the familiarity. You can have an understanding of your character that is beyond any other, but it also goes to your opponent. Do you know how this Yoshi matchup goes? Do you know what you need to be looking out for? And a couple of good parries leads into some deadly combos. Yoshi's off stage, has to use the double jump, so why not close it in the best way that you can? One good Flare Blitz to the Yoshi schnoz.
Yeah, and with a character like Charizard with such a suicidal move like Flare Blitz, and the stock advantage that exists for Stony Brook, there's really no reason not to. And with a target as big as Yoshi's schnoz, as you put it. Yeah. Unfortunately, yes, that will spell the end of this series and the end of this run, unfortunately, for Shenandoah's Smash team in NECC. I know I did a big spiel at the end of our last broadcast about how our season was over, and I was wrong. But this is, unfortunately, a single elimination tournament for playoffs, and I believe Shenandoah is now out.
There may be a third-place match for the other league, but that does come down to a whole lot of other factors. So at the very least for now, I think it's safe to say that this may be it. But also, I want to acknowledge just the Smash community's vibes. It may not be on stream right now. They're playing again.
The grind.
Yeah, it
does
doesn't stop, does
it? So, and as Kevin put it, yes, our team should be competing in a third-place match. I'm not sure of our plans to stream it. We might not. I'm just not going to speak to it. But unfortunately, yes, we can no longer win. I can tell you that. Right. So, a great season to the team, right? Both in NECC as well as NACE. I spoke to it last week, but we saw some great stuff, both this week, last week, and frankly through the whole season.
Oh, absolutely. And I am happy to say that a lot of these players are going to be returning next semester, which means they only have time on their side to improve, to learn some more about these nitpicky things. But also, now that we are starting to see more and more players pick up potential secondaries, they have the time to really start building their character pools and potentially start setting up some new things in the coming semester.
Yeah, we certainly got our ankles broken more than once today, as well as last week, and frankly all throughout the season. So we will see if that continues, but only time will tell. So with that, though, we are going to wrap up for now. We may be coming back for Rocket League at another time later tonight, but for now, that will do it for us as Shenandoah Smash. Thank you so much for watching. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might make their day, and we will see you later tonight.
Distance where Pac-Man's going to engage, it's going to be on Mega Man's terms. We just witnessed a
Matchup so far, relatively speaking.
Yes, and we do see the Mega Man throwing out all of the projectiles. More of the stage control. It is a projectile game. You do have to respect your opponents, and with that, a back air on the lane.
Yeah, this looks very uncomfortable too. This is not a playstyle we've had to see. A forward smash off of a missed tech will...
These blades will go through that fire hydrant. I'll get rid of it myself, and I'll go for my options.
This is a interesting...
Yep, and that's a lot of is that his recovery is just a little so-so. And so when you're thrown into these awkward spots, yes, to get him necessarily the advantage that he wants. A very nice short hop into a back roll, and the tomahawk grab, able to close out that stock. Ike returning it in stride with a falling.
If he's able to protect from the ledge, a side B will protect Ike instead. And now a forward tilt from the back.
The space he takes up takes time. It requires a good amount of setup off stage. Does go just a little too high, isn't able to grab the ledge, and a neutral. We do see AJ able to connect the smash attack, going for a couple more grenades, trying to catch the quick draw again, but instead isn't able to get it. But now a good tomahawk grab into the up air again.
A player that was just being a pest for the rest of Shenandoah's roster, and Igloo unfortunately lost just a few too many stocks to that one player. Now Igloo will
worry a lot. This is my brother, if you haven't heard. He tells me that a lot. So if I'm going to worry, you know, it's a lot of anime on screen right now, and that's okay. But we do see Igloo's advantage. I am eating my words to start this off because we are seeing an amazing advantage state coming out from Igloo as Lucina is already at 83 as the Pyro switches out, and there's not a lot of breathing. Oh my goodness, Igloo.
Good. Very well done to stay alive, keep the series alive as Igloo's able to find sync into his element, sync into his playstyle. Now fighting for these hydrants, losing that one, but now
we're relatively even. It really boiled down to making sure you could get the
offers 100% differential as we now find Kip in the mid out. Now Pac-Man in a very, very tight situation finds a saw to the face, but could still recover as he's Pac-Man and can recover from just about anything, but just outside.
Find his like home ground and get that advantage going. Jay is able to tech, gets the back air, and is able to get the Mega Man off stage, but has a bomb on
90% on AJ, right? This is not something to sleep on, however.
For picks, if you are going to play Pokemon Trainer at this point, you have to be very confident, but a very good boxes will mean that we could see a potential matchup exchange, but
looking for any way to put this 140% Yoshi away, and the one up some percentage of his own, right? Igloo able to find advantages in disadvantages, as you explained.
I've seen this interaction before because a lot of it came off of parries.
wasn't the plan. Don't wanna demand it. I've done what I can. And I never mentioned the times you were rude. And I never mentioned when you hid the truth. Scared to lose it all. I won't stand a chance. And I don't wanna fake it. What if I can't walk away? You got me saying away. Hoping I don't make the same mistake. Same mistake. Hoping I don't make the same mistake. I don't like to leave things unresolved. Maybe it's madness. I'm begging you, please pick up the call. You're causing me damage. I should've known wasn't your fault. Don't even matter. I wasn't thinking clear, trying to take it there. Scared to lose it all. I won't stand a chance. And I don't wanna fake it. What if I can't walk away? You got me standing in the rain. Hoping I don't make the same mistake. Same mistake. Hoping I don't make the same mistake. I'm just standing in the rain, hoping I don't make the same mistake. Hand out, she holds. It's feeling like we've been here before. We're both so broke. That's something that'll keep us afloat. Don't walk too slow. We can't keep falling deeper again. Came too close and the taste so far from pure. A rush of blood, but we search for so much more. We've all been here before. We've all been here before. We've all been here before. Hand out, she holds. It's feeling like we've been here before. We're both so broke. That's something that'll keep us afloat. Don't walk too slow. We can't keep falling deeper again. Came too close and the taste so far from pure.
I don't think he sees the guy right there. Does find the guy planting the bombs. Parlays it into his second.
1v3 looking for the clutch, looking for the last two. He's gonna find one, the other one wants it with us.
Absolutely a must makes because of the
And
ease of them.
What? The rest of his team is slowly collapsing. The Sombra is the last one alive, and Boydex with the clutch.
Ella gonna get the Nair, starting out the Nair train. Boy cannot get out of it. What are we gonna see? The forward air, then down air!
Taking some form of space outside the spawn door, but Dragon Blade's gonna look to take it right back with a huge shatter. Oh my god! Another pick! Another pick! Oh, he just keeps going and the pick bang!
Hard point in the hand of the other team. Toxic tried to find one, finds a second. Does he get the 30?
Finishes off with the pistol!
The entire team in front of him, and he's gonna find for the ace, actually!
Push all mid corner, and Gingy staying deep instead of going defensive like usual.
Oh my gosh, King Kong Poppy with a 4-piece.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. A little bit of a roster swap, right? My name is Ben Kincaid, joined by Molly Dents here. We have some Rocket League for you, the final game here to qualify for LAN for our MAEC season here for Rocket League, sitting at 5-2 against Alvernia. Pretty excited. What do you expect?
You know what? That's kind of the whole surprising thing about this is we didn't plan on streaming into this until approximately 15 minutes ago. So super quick swap on out, getting our broadcast ready. We were actually back watching our Smash game. Both of us were working on the production. So like, hey, why don't we come out here for a bit of a change? And then our Rocket League team have been preparing for this game. It is later than usual, being 9:30 at night. That it's a little bit late, and you know, that's gonna be hard. We're going to be awake. We're ready. I'm here. I didn't have any caffeine today, but you may need a cup of coffee to keep up with this one because, my goodness, we have some energy to share. As you said, stakes are high for this game. Last match of the Mid-Atlantic Esports Conference season, the third league that our Rocket League team is competing in, and it is the one that will decide their fate, whether they will move on to the LAN event at Radford University for the championships or if their season ends here. And this is their last game, I believe, of all of their seasons total, too.
Yeah, I believe so. This is pretty much the icing on the cake, right? If they win this one, they go to LAN. If not, their season will end here against Alvernia. We've had a match up against them earlier. We did lose in that one, but it was pretty close, right? We kept up with Alvernia through the first couple of games there. And yeah, I'm kind of expecting the growth that we've seen all semester long come up to show here. And I think this is going to be a lot closer than what we saw previously.
The last time that our Rocket League team lost was in weeks 3 and 4 of the MAEC season. We are now in week 7 for reference, or actually no, week 8, excuse me. I got this. Week 8, and even that last loss in week 3, that was when they played Alvernia. And you and I know, having casted most of their games throughout the season, how much growth that these three players have seen as a team, as individuals on a surface level, and even as you begin to dive deeper. And it's really difficult to have all of that pressure, all that hard work that you put in the whole season put down into one moment. Like, you have 3 15-minute periods to set yourself up well for success. Like, moving to this LAN, and we know how badly these guys want it to.
Yeah, they want to have another shot to prove themselves, right? And they want to show up tonight, especially because they have had so much growth. They have shown so much potential throughout this season, sitting at 5-2, looking very, very strong. One of the top teams here in MAEC, but still having to fight for that LAN potential here against Alvernia. Alvernia as well looking very strong on their side, but it's going to come down to team coordination, right? And mentals kind of staying steady, staying strong, right? Because we know in the esports world, you can get a little upset from time to time, but being able to brush that off and move forward, go to the next game, and bring home a W for your squad here is something that everyone is looking for in this case.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing that especially rings true with this team in particular. Qualark has worked very hard with all 3 of them to make sure that they are mentally prepared for this game, that if they do go down early, that they're still able to bring their best performance, right, to the show, to the game, and then therefore produce these results that they're wanting. And, you know, historically, this team has a tendency to take these longer series, and those can be very, very rough on your mental game, having to keep that up. You're like, all right, we're feeling really good. Oh, we lost the next game. How do we really recover? And then, like, it still stays in the back of your mind. That's why I can never compete in Rocket League, because I don't think like that. Like, it's just go for these guys. They don't have that time to think, have the break. It's just, all right, GG, go next. We move on, and they keep on playing. Alvernia, this is going to be a tough match. If for some reason Shenandoah manages to 3-0 this, we will be very, very shocked. This is a difficult team to go out and beat. It's going to be a tough series to go on through. It wouldn't be an understatement to call the Hornets the underdogs here, but it's a very possible win to pull through.
Yeah, and key players, right, for this matchup for the side of SU, right? You got to look at Mango and Eliminathan, finding these passing lanes, finding these angles to try to get these crosses going, and Kiazi, if called up, if necessary, from that midfield position, really committing, trying to put that nail in the coffin to get these goals on the board for SU. But it's really the name of the game is finding these passing lanes, right? Because we have seen it work time and time again between Eliminathan and with Mango, because really they play on a very similar wavelength
Yes.
when it comes to pace and aggression with these two players. And when they click and they're playing as a unit, it's very, very dangerous and hard to defend.
Those are the best performances that we've seen from the team all season, is when Mango and Eliminathan are working on the same wavelength there in the front line. And we've talking to the coaches and just the viewers in general. I mean, Eliminathan has been far and above the most improved player for this team and has become a major asset on this offensive side. It's no longer Mango bolstering everything just on his shoulders. You have these partners to be able to work with, and seeing them become more comfortable finding each other on the field is an incredible growth pattern for them to continue going off of. It's why they've made it so far in the May season. This is one of the best records that they've had, and even for a younger team, a newer one. I mean, Kiazi even coming in as a freshman, we didn't even talk about him because he's just so reliable as that third man. He's wherever you need him to be. Yeah,
Kiazi definitely one of the unsung heroes here of SU, right? Because his defensive play is very, very strong. He can find a clear when it is needed, and the clear is almost always in the right spot to set up these passing lanes like we talked about earlier with Eliminathan and Mango. So if all three members of this SU squad are clicking at the same time today here, Alvernia, it's going to be tough to really come up with a 3-0 victory, let alone a victory in general, right, against this SU squad, because when they are clicking, they are so fast, they are so aggressive, and the rotations look so clean from this squad. So if they're able to keep that up going in to this last game to decide a LAN spot, that would be huge.
It's been 4 weeks since these last two teams, Shenandoah and Alvernia, have met each other on the Rocket League pitch. We're going to see all those improvements you can put into play. I mean, the stakes are high for both teams. Not really sure where Alvernia currently stands on in terms of those rankings, those standings, whether they qualify or not. But Shenandoah, they have something to fight for. They have a reason to come out with the win today, and they're going to do their best to show Alvernia all that they have.
Already the kickoff going in favor here of SU. These passing lanes again, the clear coming through there for Alvernia. Kiazi again, like we talked about, but in a dangerous position. Elim able to get that over the hump there, getting that over back towards that corner. Mango now able to find this clear and a potential counterattack for SU.
It was a nice clear. It was Kiazi looking for some sort of reception, but they end up backing off. The rotations, they're clean, but look how far apart the Hornets have been so far. And all these opportunities like this open for Alvernia, bounces in front of the goal line. Brandon tempted to shoot it on in. Will be knocked away on their own. Eliminathan working overtime on this defensive role. Yeah, Shenandoah playing in their half, and Alvernia showing some incredible skill. I mean, Tab going for a flip reset early into this game. Shenandoah, they're playing proactively, they're setting up the plays, a bounce in front of the goal line, dangerous spot. Can they get somebody there? Someone does. Kapir, yet it's Alvernia who gets there first.
Yeah, Kiazi trying to capitalize off of Elim there. Elim now taking a shot on goal, but unable to get anything to connect. Kiazi again with the follow-up, just off target just a little bit here, but you can see the power, the offensive power from this squad. Mango now finding the angle into the corner, but no Tab in position to keep this a scoreless game.
Both these teams are firing back and forth. There's no clear weakness on either side, and that's very notable here, considering the last time Shenandoah faced off against Alvernia, it was a 3-0, and let's be honest, it was not that pretty of a game. They weren't happy about it, right? It was not a good loss to go against, but look how much that they have improved. We're nearly 2 minutes in. The score is still even. A beautiful demo across the goal line from Eliminathan. Kiazi doesn't quite get the tap off towards the center, and simply Mango chasing the corner position instead. Wide open net for Wild, so something has to come through. Elimination, yes, it has the demo, and Kiazi on the back foot. Look at them covering for each other.
Huge demo coming through from Elim there. Almost an open goal opportunity there for Alvernia, but unable to do anything with it. Tab now going to the air, trying to find this angle. Elim has to meet it, will be able to do so. Now it's up to Brown, has the shot on goal, and will be able to put Alvernia up ahead 1-0.
Honestly, that demolition worked against them. It almost provided a smoke screen for Alvernia to go on through and get a tap centered and clear. But think of how much effort that they had to put in order just to get 1 point on the board. Shenandoah's defense has been spectacular thus far. The one time they end up getting caught off, yes, it is not a good feel, but you still have the game to work with. The second one, Alvernia, you can tell they got the 1 point and are going to start to get Shenandoah. Try to play that mental game a little more.
Yeah, Tab able to get that flip reset in the air there. Just toss that one off of that upper corner, and you see Wilds there ready to read the play. The communication coming through. Alvernia now up 2-0, 2:40 left in game number 1 of this best of 5. Still a lot of time on the board for SU to try to find a response, but right now their offense is kind of faltering, right? They're playing a lot of defense, unable to find these good clears that they were able to earlier on in this game.
Big thing too is Alvernia are playing an aggressive game. They've had the majority of the demolitions so far, and they've been relatively important ones. And, that whiff, it hurts. It really does hurt. And Alvernia are taking advantage now of Shenandoah being stuck in their own defensive end. A problem that we saw a little bit earlier in the semester was Shenandoah can play this incredible defense or they can play incredible offense. There isn't much, they have a hard time finding the balance in the middle. And this is a game where we've seen that great offense, but now that they're stuck on the defensive end, they seem to be having a difficult time keeping up with where Alvernia is putting this ball.
Tab again trying to find that angle. The demo trade coming off across the board early there really halts any progress that either side is looking to have here. Tab again finding that clear over to that corner there, but good response from SU, able to get that clear back in favor of them, but no boost really to their name. Kiazi going back to get that full boost, trying to get these clears back in favor of SU, sending it over to the corner, trying to set something up, but nothing coming just yet.
And it once again comes down to Alvernia taking the initiative here. That was a demo onto Eliminate. So Shenandoah, they didn't have that second man to really rely on when they had these center passes. They're in position. That's not the problem. Alvernia just like, they're not going to have none of this. We're going to blow you up. All of your plans are essentially to turn to dust now. So Alvernia have been able to take the ball control after this, and another demolition on the goal line from Elim, but the Tav carry, it just can't be stopped regardless of this aggression. A 4-0 lead now for Alvernia.
Yeah, Tav able to get over Kiazi there. Kiazi playing that midfield a little bit too far forwards, unable to get back in time to contest that shot coming through from Tab. They're 4-0 now for Alvernia. Minute 15 to go in game number 1 here. SU still has time to get something on the board here, and what a morale booster it would be if they were able to do so.
And have to. Your chances of winning game number 1 are pretty slim. What we want the Hornets to do, though, get a feel of good goal, right? Yeah. If you can show that you can put a point in against Alvernia once, you can very well do it again, and something has to go your way. You have to have some sort of positive momentum heading into game number 2, but I mean, that's again of Damo on to Mango. Most of these have been at the hands of Wilds. This guy is absolutely tearing apart the Hornets on the field, even if they had minimal ball control. So now that the Hornets can get it past up, it's to Kiazi looking for the shot, but it's going to go off to the side. An opportunity nonetheless, and one the Hornets are going to have to attempt in the final 30 seconds.
Yeah, Kiazi just a little wide on that shot there, had the angle, but just unable to execute. Mango now with practically full boost.
They got it!
In through there. Kiazi by himself will able to get that goal and hopefully boost the morale here. Like you said, 19 seconds left. Very hard to bring this one back, if at all here, but putting that score on the board is huge for SU.
Absolutely. And not only from a mental standpoint, but that was also a major error from Alvernia. And it does show, like, they were so grouped up, they were essentially stepping on each other's toe. They had a collision with their team. Like, that's a sign right there. Like, all right, they're clearly not going to they're not playing perfect Rocket League. Shenandoah can find these windows to be able to work with, even if game 1 might be set and done. Alvernia taking that 4-1 lead. The Hornets do have positive things to look forward to as the series progresses.
Yeah, it's going to be about capitalizing on those mistakes, right? You saw it there against Alvernia, with Alvernia there, just like you said, clumped up, clustered together, right? Yeah, a 3-car pileup on the highway, right? And you can see Kiazi is able to just sneak it past there, and Elim and Mango there to really seal the deal, right? If that ball somehow went off of that crossbar, both Elim and Mango were in position to put that goal away here. And it is a best of 5, right? So we have time. There's a lot of time to really come back with a new game plan and really reinvigorate the play from this SU squad, because that was only game 1.
Exactly. It's only game 1, and again, we started at the beginning of the series. Not even the beginning of the series. This is before the game even started. We said that Shenandoah, one of their biggest things, if they go down, they take it so hard. They want to be the best as possible, which is great. We want them to be very good, but when they mess up, it's difficult for them to recognize, like, hey, we had a rough day. We just need to move on and go next. And what a good way to go next, too. You end up on a point where Alvernia, I don't even know what just happened there, and you can use that, right? You could use that as fuel to push past this team that has been choking you in your own defensive end. And that's another key point, too, is that Shenandoah, that last minute and a half or so, were playing a good chunk of their time in the orange part of the field.
Yeah, and even in the beginning of game one, right, they had really good offensive looks. They just weren't able to get those lanes activated on the side of Elim and Mango, just unable to squeeze past the defensive setup from Alvernia here. You can see, again, Mango, again, playing aggressive, has boost, possible goal here, but Wilds, again, in position, able to get that clear in favor of Alvernia. Now back on the defensive side is SU.
But Mango, I mean, you can already see that he's in his mood where he's like, I'm going to take this aggressively. It's Kiazi going up to the top. Can he get the touch? Yes, but it's not going to get any forwards momentum. Someone has to come up and bang it. It's going to be Kiazi off the corner, attempted a second to center, which Birdman grabbed the read on, and Alvernia are forced to play this back wall. Shenandoah, a wonderful set of plays, catching Alvernia off guard. It was only that slight bump on the end to push them off, but not long enough. That touched off all three players several times before Shenandoah start this game off on the right note.
Yeah, SU able to keep that ball over in Alvernia's half of the field there. You can see all three members committed to that play. Kiazi able to put that one through. 1-0 now in game number 2, 4:14 left to go in the game. Pretty early goal, pretty early to tell what is going to happen with the remainder of this game here. But again, SU playing aggressive, playing good offense, and really keeping Alvernia on their back foot.
Oh, but Kiazi, that was a bump onto tap into Mango! He just sails right past the ball, smelled it on the way, and had to bid it goodbye. Eliminathan looking for another centered possibility. It goes to Kiazi. The demo was there once again on the goal line. It's popped back up. Mango with a second chance. Shenandoah are firing shot after shot on the Alvernia goal. What a different team we're watching comparison to the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, Shenandoah relentless on this offensive side. Elim just does not have enough boost to get to that ball faster than the Alvernia member there. Now the clear coming through from Alvernia, but cleared right back over to this mid. That pinch coming off of that corner, coming in huge for SU now. Elim has some boost, will run out of it. Kiazi meeting it halfway. A possible pass off of the backboard. Mango with the follow-up will be able to do so. 2-0 SU.
Kiazi, the third man that everybody wants on their team. Look at what a setup that is for Mango. You're just essentially spoon-feeding it to him, and they make it look easy, but that is pretty darn difficult to be able to coordinate. I mean, Shenandoah's team play is simply on another level. They are taking Game 2 into their own hands, and Alvernia are just rolling with it.
Yeah, Alvernia unable to really get any offensive power going of their own, really forced to stay in this defensive side. Mango trying to get something done by himself. Wilds, however, will be able to get that clear. Big boost here for Alvernia. Won't be able to get anything done with it. However, it's going to be Kiazi now. Elim, 75 boost to their name, possibly getting that touch, but Wilds again in position here. Elim getting demoed. The passes coming back and forth here from this Alvernia squad, but Elim again off of respawn, able to get that clear in favor of SU.
And now it's Kiazi's turn to kind of run with the ball. Alvernia had to sprint their way back to the goal line, but Shenandoah, they left the door wide open. Mango, just short from the hood of his car. And there'll be Alvernia getting one on the board today, but in such a scrappy fashion, to say the least.
Yeah, Mango just barely unable to get that touch onto that ball. Will make contact, but just not enough of the car is in the way of that shot to really get that save in favor of SU now. Alvernia able to bring the score within 1, 2-1 now here for SU. Now Mango possibly having the angle flip reset coming through, but Birdman in position. The follow-up not quite there from Kiazi, trying to put that goal into the back of the net, but unable to do so. Mango again staying aggressive. Alvernia forcing, having to play defense.
I'll tell you, his rotations are so dang clean right now. The Horns are feeling themselves on the offense, and all they need to do is hope that they can keep that control, because this is where it gets scary. When Alvernia gets a very fast clear like this, their defensive rotations are often just a pair behind. So Alvernia find that window to strike despite them being choked out on their own side for basically the entirety of Game 2.
Yeah, and this is the speed of the transitions, right? Because
Yeah.
you can see off of these clears, Alvernia's go button is already pressed. They are already going for this one. A shot
No
on
shot.
goal there from Mango. Unable to get that one in, going off of that cross. And now we see Wiles again in the air, trying to set up their teammates, but unable to do so. But yeah, off of these rotations, the speed in which Alvernia is playing with is just greater than the defensive rotations coming through from SU, right? They are able to go off these clears so well, just like Tab. Elim unable to get there in time. And really, it's Alvernia just being in position for these clears. Like, as you can see, Wiles able to find that good clear, and Tab is already there in position. Elim not able to get there fast enough. 3-2 now for Alvernia.
And it's the thing with Shenandoah, while their offense is great. I brought it up in game number 1, and it might have just cursed us here in game 2. This is the weakness of them having this incredible offense. They have a tendency to overcommit, and when Alvernia take it away so fast, like that's just shot after shot, a carry again, and they've managed to score 2 within these 30 seconds. That early fire that Shenandoah had raging on their slide is slowly starting to flicker away, and this is where it starts to get scary. You had such a strong start in this game, and I mean, they have to be questioning what happened in these last 30 seconds.
Yeah, and you can see in that exchange, right? Just missed ball hits, right? Mango and Elim missing in the air in front of that goal there. Mango, again, possibly having a look onto the goal here, but unable to capitalize on anything there. Trying to still find these clears. A minute left, still plenty of time. Mango, however, getting demoed there will mean that not a whole lot of offense can come through from SU in these coming seconds.
45 seconds on the clock. Shenandoah, they got to make quick work of this game, and what a way to start it off. Now a 1-point differential, and look how key this touch was. The read off the wall from Wild's like, all right, you want to give me a pass? All right, I have got this under control. Tipped it off the hood of his car. Not a single player from the orange team in the way.
Yeah, Kiazi able to get that great read off of that wall. They're bringing it now within one kickoff in favor of Alvernia, but Elim able to find that clear yet again, keeping it over in Alvernia's half of the field. Kiazi trying to just interrupt, getting these lanes opened up for SU, but again, Tab able to find this clear. Elim with quite a lot of boost will get demoed. Tab demoed in the meantime as well. Mango in position here to try to find this cross over to Kiazi, but Birdman again able to find the angle in the air. Flip resets, but Elim again able to meet them in the corner.
Are we boxing or are we playing Rocket League? I couldn't tell you with the amount of demolitions that just happened. I mean, Shenandoah, they need to tie this up. They have 5 seconds to be able to do so. The ball must stay alive. It's Kiazi with the final second shot, and he's going to manage to grab it into the back. I can see the excitement from the coach, from the players, because oh my, did Shenandoah just book himself to an overtime.
That bounced on the ground with about 2 seconds left there. Kiazi, if he hits that post, this game is done and dusted, and Alvernia is up 2-0, but instead able to drain that one into the back of the net, squeaking it just past that post now into overtime here for game number 2. Kiazi again trying to find that double tap, just barely unable to, but a great look again from SU.
And this is the start that they need. Kiazi gave them that golden ticket of survival to move on to this overtime. But they need to take advantage of it. This is where things get dicey on that defense. It is Mango who managed to grab it for the time being, attempting this longer carry to go through, knowing Alvernia have been decent about receiving these passes. But Kiazi's going to get up there first. Birdman and Tab fighting for it in the goal line. Alvernia, they're scared of the potential the Hornets have to score. Mango again off the crossbar. Can they get the second player? Yes, Kiazi available, yet not able to get the touch in. Once again, in the Shenandoah half, nearly 45 seconds into this overtime. Ben, Shenandoah, while they've managed to stay in the driver's seat thus long, they need to prove they can hold it down as Alvernia push their own attack.
Kiazi now trying to find this clear, but Alvernia not letting them have it. Mango trying to punch it out of this corner. Tab still in position. No boost here for Mango. Passing it over to Kiazi. The cross over to Elim. No shots coming through on goal just yet. Trying to find these angles still. Again, Mango now with boost, able to get back in time to get this save for SU. A minute 20 now into this overtime. Elim trying to find these clears. Will get demoed in the meantime. 3v2 now. Mango trying to keep it out of harm's way and will be able to do so for the meantime, right? Kiazi trying to find these clears. Elim off of respawn, and again, just a ping pong battle back and forth to see who can find this angle. Mango again, just barely able to get to that corner and save the day for SU.
He's going to carry it all the way down to the other side of the field as well. just removing it from the hands of Wilds, who has been that aggressor, the demolition expert from Alvernia thus far, and we've seen very little of that. Shenandoah have been taking these 50s mid-air, and when they're making these connections, kind of trying to meet Alvernia up in the sky, we're seeing so much improvement over ball control. The demolition on to eliminate. It's going to make it more difficult. Mango, though, with the key shot up at the corner. Tab barely gets there in the nick of time. This overtime is going a lot longer than anybody thought it should be going, with how close Shenandoah have been to so many of these shots. The goalkeeping from Alvernia has been incredible.
Mango now needs to find this save. Kiazi able to get back on that rotation, able to get that save now. The pass over to Tab, Elim able to read it. And a shot on goal again here, just barely wide. Kiazi now trying to meet it in the air, will miss. Mango, however, will get that ball back into that corner. The cross coming. Elim trying to find the touch, will be unable to do so. Kiazi with the follow-up. These shots look so good, but they're just barely wide for SU. Almost 3 minutes now into this overtime for game 2, and no team really finding these angles. Wild's getting this demo. This could be huge for SU.
Not quite. At the point we are in overtime, 8 minutes straight of playing Rocket League. It's a matter of endurance. Which team is going to break first? So far, it's been Alvernia, bent over backwards, and it's finally them who shall snap. Shenandoah getting themselves a game on the board already. Significant improvements from last game, and on their way to a comeback.
You can see Tab and Birdman trying to find that connection, just unable to do so. The pass, the flip up from Mango there. Elim in position. The communication is there. SU tying it up at 1 apiece. It's not going to be a sweep today.
Oh, no, it is not. I don't know if you just saw it, but out of the corner of my eye, our producer, who's also the Rocket League coach, just ran back there all excited like this. He's like, let's go, team. Because this is a big game for them. This is that turning point. A team that has struggled, that if they get a wrong start, this comeback, we're finding this positive wave of momentum to go with. An overtime goal where Kiazi gets you on the final second, and not to mention you're just slaughtering these points at the back net. You win in a 3.5-minute overtime. I mean, everything here is laid out perfectly for Shenandoah to continue to execute as well as they have for these next couple of games.
Yeah, and in that overtime, it looked like SU just completely took a reset on the mental, right? Their rotations were clean. The defense coming in huge. Clean from Kiazi, and Mango able to save that one goal in that upper left corner there later on in that overtime. But yeah, it just all came together here in that overtime. They were able to find these passes, able to find these shots, and really SU ran that overtime period against Alvernia.
I mean, it's intense 8 minutes of last that you had to pull out, and now you're at a point like, all right, we have our game. Take a breath. Don't let it get to your heads. I'm also telling myself that because if you couldn't tell, I'm a little into this. I'm getting excited for this team. Big match for them. Many stakes on the line. A LAN event in their future if Shenandoah can keep playing as they have here. Game number 3 now underway. Let's go out about Mango taking this series into his hands with Eliminathan. It's kind of spoon-feeding him that ball as needed. I mean, not to mention Kiazi having the game of his life. And number 2! What do we even need that to happen? Look at these aerial passes that Alvernia, it just sailed straight over their heads.
Elim off the wall. Mango just barely able to beat Birdman to the ball there at midfield. And yeah, that's just what we are used to seeing from this Elim-Mango combination. The passing lanes are starting to be unlocked here in this series for SU. An early 30-second goal there for SU. Again, Mango trying to make something happen. Wilds just barely in the way there. Now clear coming through from Wilds, but Kiazi there to meet it halfway. Tab now trying to find these shots on goal, but no boost to their name means that they aren't able to get a whole lot done just yet. Mango as well, however, has none of their own, but this attacking prowess, this attacking power, this offense from Shenandoah coming, really showing up here in these last 2 games.
Can they do the same on the defense? It's a bit of a hustle on the goal line, yet Mango again, a slow carry, a bump over Wilds. What is this man doing right now? An insane shot, and Eliminathan has the potential to block it up. It's Kiazi for the 3rd. The third man commits, and a 2nd on the board for the Hornets.
And that's the things that we like to see from SU, right? Once you have this ball hovering in this kind of dead space in front of this goal, call up that 3rd player, try to find that shot from deep. Mango, you already saw he was on that rotation, on that defensive side, just in case things did go wrong on that offensive attack. But that is, again, Elim setting up these passing lanes, setting up these angles for his teammates to capitalize. 2-0 now, SU in game number 3.
A lot of this too, I think Mango deserves a lot of the credit that we're seeing now. I like to call it mid-game, or rather, let's call it mid-series Mango. Games 2, 3, and 4, like this is where the man dominates. Sometimes they're a little bit slow to warm up, and if we go to game 5, it can be tricky. But when he's in games like this, absolutely styling on players. I mean, who even can stop him at this rate?
I don't know about you, but that looks like a clip to me. I don't
better
know.
be a clip.
Pretty darn good there from Mango, taking it by himself. 3:24 left in game 3, not done just yet, but man, Shenandoah looking real good.
It's like he knew that we were he just knew that we were hyping him up. I mean, that was it. He knew and heard us for the response. And I mean, Shenandoah, they're still on this. I mean, Alvernia, notice how far back that they're having to play. They're cluttered, struggling to break through this midfield that Shenandoah has set up. They can't get away with these just super speedy dashes down to the blue side. No. Shenandoah, they're prepared for this. They're like, all right, we let you get away with this twice, and it's not going to happen again.
Elim now trying to find this pass off of that crosswalk. Kiazi again with the follow-up. Elim with yet another assist. SU looking so good off of these backboard shots here. Kiazi, oh my gosh, just coming in like a missile there for SU, putting them up 4-0 in game 3.
This is the best game. The best game that I have seen from Kiazi all season long. I mean, he's just on another level. The synergy with his teammates, you can see the call. He's like, guys, I got this, and he just zooms in from downtown at light speed. It's wonderful. I mean, to think that we started off with a 4-1 in favor of Alvernia, if this was game number 1, would you have think that this would even happen? Not at all. I mean, this is the comeback that the Hornets are known for. They sometimes can get off to a rough start. They need this warm-up period, this adaptation, but once they get going, there's simply no stopping them.
Yeah, the clears as well coming through in favor of SU. Mango trying to send it off of this corner. So much boost in favor of SU right now, but Elim and Kiazi unable to meet that cross in time coming out from Mango there. Kiazi opting to play on this defensive side. Mango as well on the rotation, able to find these clears yet again. Kiazi, however, doesn't have any boost left. It's just Elim with boost right now. Mango trying to restock, trying to get back into being a threat for this SU team. Will be able to do so, finding these clears. Kiazi now, nothing to his name in the boost department, unable to capitalize on that one just yet. Alvernia now able to find the clear.
They're going to move through thanks to the help of Breadman, but keeping it there has been difficult. Shenandoah, they've learned to keep this ball close. They're not going for these booming type of hits downfield. No, they're keeping it close to finding these short lanes of passing to be able to work with. I mean, being down under 90 seconds, the Hornets have to be feeling pretty confident about closing out this series. It would take some serious finagling out of Alvernia for a comeback. I mean, even the shot Kiazi was ready for. Notice how they're keeping him further back now, anticipating these fast turnarounds Alvernia like to have.
Yeah, resetting now, opting to play this defensive side of Rocket League here. They're up 4-0 with a minute left to go. You don't really need any more goals. You just need to deny Alvernia the opportunity to get these goals back, right? 52 seconds now. The pinch coming through. Tab unable to hit the shot going off of the post. And now the pinch almost on goal there for SU to make it 5-0. Won't be able to do so. Kiazi able to find the demo onto Breadman there. And now, really, it's just a clear game for SU. There's 34 seconds left in this game. Just keep it away from the goal, and you are all set and cruising to a match point.
It's already looking like a Shenandoah match point. I mean, we're looking at a whole new team. The adaptations that they're putting into place mid-game, mid-series. I mean, this is incredible. You can tell that they're talking to each other. They can tell where their errors were in game number 1. And in game 3 here, a flawless run, even a 5th goal to top it all off. Alvernia, they are down. They are beaten. All this is about now is the Hornets sending a message of they wanting to go to this land.
Yeah, SU looking good. 5-0 in game number 3. Series tied at 1. This win with 9 seconds left to go here in game number 3 will move SU to match point Alvernia, now trying to find something to keep their hopes up, right? They have 0 goals in this game number 3, and it doesn't look like they will be able to find one just yet. Kiazi, again, trying to find this angle onto the goal. Won't be able to put it in the net, but SU looking strong and looking like a completely different team from game 1.
I'm going to give you guys a story about what happened when we first walked into the arena today and talked to this team. I go up to them, I'm like, hey guys, how are we feeling about today's match? They're like, we're going to try. Like, we're probably going to lose, but we're going to try. Yep. Where is that attitude now? Come on, if you think you're going to lose, you're going to lose. They came into this, they came in with a positive mindset and just shut out Alvernia 5-0 despite these high-scoring games that they have been hitting. There's no difference. I mean, this team, they're confident. I don't think that they're stopping them. Alvernia are going to have to make some serious changes, have some incredible pop-off moments to stop the fire that Shenandoah have raging behind them right now.
Yeah, and really props to all 3 members of this SU squad, right? Everyone is finding these passing angles, and Kiazi coming in from deep twice in game number 3. They're able to find these angles, able to find these passes, finding these setups off of this backboard for Mango and Kiazi to capitalize. And really, you can see how smooth and seamless this communication is through this SU squad, because everyone is where they're supposed to be at the right time. Some passes going a little wide, and that's okay, that happens, but everyone is still in that vicinity of where that play is trying to develop.
Big thing too, we're hitting the ball now. There's significantly less whips from game number 1. I mean, they're just meeting Alvernia in the air. They used to rule the skies, but now the Hornets like, we're the ones with wings. This is our territory now. And game 4, match point for the Hornets, land on the line. They have a bit of a cushion to fall back on should they need it. With how good this team has been playing, doesn't feel like that there's much that can stop them. Wilds is going to try to be that step-up player for Alvernia. But the plan's thwarted midway through and eliminate that's going to match Bucket off to a corner.
Wild unable to find that double tap there. Elim again off of the roof will be unable. Breadman in position to get that save for Alvernia. Now it's Wilds again, but Elim already on this defensive rotation will miss. However, Tav in position to get that goal for Alvernia. 1-0 now in game number 4, but not too bad of an opening for SU.
No. And SU, unfortunately, just in the wrong place at the wrong time, had a tricky read off of that. And to be fair, that was an incredible setup on the side of Alvernia. There's very few teams that could have stopped that in the first place. So the Hornets should not take that too hard whatsoever. Plenty game to be played. And in fact, why don't we just reset the scoreboard all together? Mango's catch and cover.
Yeah, Mango able to find Kiazi there, sending it off of the roof. They're able to get that touch and beating Wilds out in that 50-50, setting up Mango to really just punch that goal in, tying it up within 6 seconds of the last goal there for SU. Now we're back to 0-0, 4-minute game here. Now, the double tap just missing for Alvernia there. A missed opportunity that might come back to bite them later on.
We'll have to go ahead and see Shenandoah in control of the ball. Alvernia's physicality has toned down significantly from the beginning of our series, and that was honestly one of the big things that was catching Shenandoah off guard, was these constant demos that were rolling on through, and they just couldn't catch a break. And with Breadman kind of identifying that as the main thing, you can tell that Alvernia want to hunt for it, yet Shenandoah, they're not going to fall behind in terms of this pacing. This is the fastest I have seen this team move all season, and as coordinated as possible, too.
Yeah, Wilds now trying to find this aerial attack. Mango will meet it in the air, pushing it over to Elim in that corner. Kiazi as well able to find that demo onto Breadman. Now off of respawn, trying to find this clear back. The pass over to Wilds will go high on the goal there. Now it's Elim trying to make connection here. Kiazi and Elim both missing. Mango, however, will not, but Tav able to win that 50-50, pushing it over into SU's half of the field.
And they're going to have on for it to now. With a lot more of this midfield play is what's been in game number 4. You can tell that Alvernia are toning back their play style, Shenandoah as well. They don't want this confidence to get to their head, and they're not doing these crazy triple commits anymore, opting for a more defensive approach, knowing that the Wolves are waiting to strike at any opportunity that Shenandoah leave their back door open, and Kiazi has been the guy to get there and be that last line of defensive deployed slightly more often than you would like to see, and unfortunately with that lifeline expended. It's where Breadman is going to find the chance off the corner to give Alvernia that lead.
Yeah, Mango off the wall there, doesn't have any boost to get down in position. Kiazi trying to make it there himself, but just a little slow on that rotation. And now 2-1 in favor of Alvernia here in game number 4, but nothing too crazy. Still have 2.5 minutes to go here for SU to find this responsive goal here. Tav finding the flip reset, unable to get things done by himself. However, Wiles will be in position. 2-goal lead now for Alvernia.
There's only so much that one Kiazi could have done in this moment. Went for the read off of Breadman, yet Wilds was sitting and waiting in the corner to kind of just poke that one on through. And to be fair, every game that we've seen so far, there has not been one that's been less than 4 points for a single team. It was 4-1, then 5-4, and then 5-0. And now Shenandoah being behind on that end, I would not count them out in the slightest. They've made comebacks like this before, and it's literally only a matter of time before they can start to get their grip on the offense. I mean, Kiazi setting them up wonderfully to do so. Alvernia heavily concentrated in that back corner, leaving the Hornets plenty of space. Yet Kiazi gets rocketed off to the other side, and Alvernia are in control once again. The centering and pass, Mango bailing them out.
Mango able to find that clear over to that corner. Kiazi now passing over to Mango. Elim in position, possibly follow up, but Breadman again able to find that angle, able to find that clear. The ball now bouncing in front of SU's goal. Wilds trying to capitalize. Breadman as well, but the clear coming through. Tap. Now Mango. It's all up to Mango. This could be huge. The tap off of the wall. Kiazi just barely missed the ball from Elim. Makes it a 1-point game with 1:20 to go.
And this was beautiful to watch. Mango at an incredible carry, just given a nice little walk downfield. Kiazi, sure, the ball got bumped out of your way, and you know who's good, old Mr. Reliable, Nathan. Walking on in, and I mean, that's the team coordination that we love to see. It's the team coordination that wins Shenandoah games. 1-point differential as we prepare to head into the final 70 seconds.
Elim trying to find these backboards like they were able to in game number 3 here for SU. 1-point game, a minute to go on the clock here. Alvernia trying to force a game 5, trying to deny SU that land opportunity, that land spot. Kiazi able to reach the ball before Breadman able to. Elim now trying to find this clear, but Tab in position to respond. 48 seconds left now on the clock. Off of the crossbar, will not be able to go in for Alvernia. Still a 1-point game, 40 seconds left to go, but SU struggling to find this clear.
Shenandoah don't need to get the reins back on this game, and it's Mango with another carry. That one will be interrupted. Alvernia have seen enough of his spectacular gameplay with him being in control. Shenandoah, a very limited time to be able to work with. Kiazi managed to get that final second goal once, but it's unlikely for it to happen again. It's such a difficult task to accomplish. And step number 1, give Breadman away from the ball, rip it out of his hands for the Hornets. Final shots currently on match point. It's volley up for Nathan, trying to keep it up in the air. It's Kiazi with a second shot off. It has to stay up in the sky, but it's not going to. It hit down to the ground. Alvernia not done fighting just yet. We're going all the way to a game number 5 for Shenandoah to have that final result revealed.
Yeah, game 5. Indeed, a close game 4 as well. 3-2 there in favor of Alvernia. SU, towards those last couple of seconds, looked like they had something going, but Alvernia says, we just need to find this clear, just get it on the ground, and they are able to do so. Going to game 5, there's a lot of momentum really for both sides, right? You had a good attack coming in. You had that cushion get really eliminated with that goal from SU later on as well. So really, this game 5 feels very up in the air.
It does. And if you've seen our Shenandoah Rocket League team play before, you know that game 5 is something we're quite familiar with over here, for better or worse, genuinely. And this is the thing. Shenandoah didn't win game 4. They won game 3, and it was very close. So many things more things went right than they went wrong for the Hornets in game 4. That is something we need to make very clear, and that is what they need to take heading into this final match. The tensions are high. You're going to have pressure on your shoulders all Alvernia are trying to do is to get in your head for this game 5. Shenandoah have more to play for here. They have more to want out of this game. They're going to have 5 more minutes, either booking their ticket to LAN or ending the Rocket League season.
Mango and Elim have good boost here. The cross just barely missed by Mango there. Elim trying to keep it in favor of SU. In the meantime, Mango going airborne, trying to find these crosses yet again. Elim just barely behind the play there, coming through from Mango. Clear now needs to come through. Alvernia looking to try to get aggressive, trying to get this early goal yet again, but Elim, Kiazi with the opportunity here will be able to capitalize. That is the fast rotations that we've seen from both sides here. That offensive power, Kiazi recognizing that this goal is open. It's now or never if he's able to find that goal, and will be able to do so within the first minute of Game 5.
Alvernia getting a taste of their own medicine, biting off more than they can chew and losing the race back to their own net. A great start for Shenandoah, and it was about to be an even better one had Mango not been stuffed up in that goal box area. Alvernia, though, certainly playing more defense than they would like to, leaving up to Wild to have a carry in, but a key touch from Mango. Yes, it stops the one, but Tav anticipating the hit off to the side.
Yeah, Wild's just trying to set this up. Tav as well following in the air. Mango able to get that initial save there, but Kiazi unable to make it to that ball. Tav was just in a perfect position to solidify that goal there for Alvernia, and this is much like we saw here in game number 4, right? 4:09, we're tied at 1-1, 4 minutes to go. Think of it as a 0-0 for both of these squads. Kiazi trying to find this clear again. The tip from Mango, able to get the goal and the lead back for SU.
Oh, it's the second time we've seen something like this happen. It's a pass from Kiazi finding Mango. They're anticipating these plays. They're not playing reactively, just hoping for someone to get it clear. They're preparing for it, and they're expecting it to happen because they have this incredible trust in one another. And it's just moments like this. Even in Alvernia, when you look at this individually, Alvernia have the higher skilled players. Mechanically, they have higher ranked peaks, but the reason Shenandoah can go with teams that may have surpassed their individual skill level is because of this team play.
Yeah, the team play indeed coming online here in game number 5, able to find these passing avenues. Tav trying to set up Wilds for this backboard shot, unable to capitalize the clear. The contest coming through from SU, the clear now hopefully coming through. Kiazi able to win that 50-50, sending that to the corner. Mango now back on that respawn, did get demoed. Breadman in position, unable to capitalize, and now it might be SU's time to strike, to go on this offensive power. Kiazi trying to set it out of this corner. Mango unable to capitalize just yet. The game of ping pong being played by both sides.
Ooh, it's off the crossbar tap. Double tap, maybe the triple going through. How many times can you touch the ball off the wall? Well, not enough for it to go in, at least for Alvernia. Shenandoah managing to get the wheels back under them, holding a narrow lead. Even a 2-goal lead doesn't feel like enough against a team such as Alvernia. How fast these games have been turning around, and it's only a matter of time before that insurance goal. You wish it was there.
Yeah, Wiles with that pass off of that backboard again. Tav in position, just barely able to beat Mango to that ball, able to tie it up for Alvernia. 2 apiece, 2:46 left to go in game number 5. The kickoff heavily in favor of Alvernia, but the demo coming through from Kiazi will turn the tides. Now Wiles able to find that clear, the last line of defense. Now Mango able to find that push over to that opposite corner.
Kiazi's feeling a little destructive today. He's taking all of his rage out onto Alvernia, more specifically onto Wild. Second time that he's been demoed in these recent times, and that's fair. I mean, Wilds has been so much setup for a team such as Alvernia, and you need to be scared of what this guy is doing on your backboard. But the fast magician is coming in key. It's a top off bunch of cars and flying left, right, and center. But there's not enough speed that Alvernia aren't able to anticipate a play of their own for the time being. Shenandoah, 2 minutes on the board. The score even across the board. What can they make happen? Tav and Wilds have been playing so synergizingly, yet none of their shots have managed to go through.
Kiazi now trying to find this pass over to Mango. Will find it. Mango able to capitalize the lead back in favor of SU. 1:46 to go in game number 5. And that's exactly what we want to see from this duo, this squad coming through from SU. These passing lanes have been unlocked ever since game number 2.
You talked about Eliminathan and Mango at the beginning of this series. How about Kiazi and Mango? My gosh, I'm standing by this. Kiazi wants this bad, man.
Yeah.
He is playing his heart out right now. The entirety of the Hornets are, but a lot of it has to do with where this guy has been playing. He's so consistent. Even if he's not the one scoring the points, he's on this defensive spot. He's the one that you're trusting should all else fail. I mean, he just does it again. Another perfect save. Eliminathan going for the 50, ends up losing it. And that's going to be another evened up score. Alvernia meeting Shenandoah toe for toe.
Yeah, Wilds again passing it off of that backboard. Elim just barely missing that shot. Kiazi gets his car on the ball, but it's just a hair too late to get that save. Tied up at 3 now, 1:18 to go. Kickoff heavily in favor of SU yet again, but Tav able to find that clear back in favor of Alvernia.
Alvernia have been matching any point that Shenandoah has managed to grab within 30 seconds of it being scored. Never feel good on the Hornets side, but they don't let it get them down too much. 60 seconds remaining, a tense moment to come on up their season. On the line, it's a make or break moment, and Breadman isn't about to break Shenandoah down. Still have so much in the tank, so much left to fight for. It has been Alvernia towards the back half of this series, primarily in control of the ball. The flaming moments that Shenandoah do have are off the back of elimination like this. That's good enough. Get in risky territory. But the Hornets, they're not in control. Tab sailing in from downtown. It's going to bury it into the back of the net. Such a small window for Shenandoah to react.
Yeah, Elim trying to get that cross faster, but just pushes it out a little bit too far. Doesn't get it up across that top wall there. Tab in position to capitalize on the slight mistake there from Elim. But again, it's only a 1-point game here. Another kickoff in favor of SU, but with 20 seconds left, down 1. They need to find something here and now.
They have to. They're trying to get aggressive. The demo on to Tav, certainly weakening Alvernia's offensive power, but still a center. It goes wide from Wild. Shenandoah, they need to get their hands on the ball here and now. There's so much on the line, so much at stake, yet it's Tav just toying with the Hornets, pushing it as far away. It's going to have to be a last-second goal, keeping the ball from touching the ground whatsoever. Mango, that's a volley back on up, but so much field you have to traverse, and with it handing, it's over to Tav. Unfortunately, the Hornets' MAEC season run is going to end here in Game 5.
But it looked so good, right? They had the lead, but Alvernia played so well, able to find these responses, and then able to find that spike towards the end of the game there. And that's just SU, right? They love Game 5s. They were playing so well, but just a hair too short there for the SU squad. But props to them. They played lights out almost all series.
They love giving us a heart attack. They like getting us like into these last-second moments. And Shenandoah, they're a team that can compete at the top. And it's just in these high-pressure moments. It's never easy to have to perform knowing, like, in that final minute, or actually those final, like, 29 seconds after Alvernia gained that final lead. I mean, what's going through your head? Like, all right, we really have to try and act now, but think about that boost that Alvernia got at the same time. I mean, breaking through that is pretty dang near impossible. This, though, is a season run that is not to be understated. Still going 5-3 overall against some really good teams in our region, Ben.
Huge season coming through from SU. And if you look at last semester as well, right, the growth that this team had with where they are right now is almost a completely different team. It's the same players, the same coaches, but they are just so much better from where they started with where they are right now, right? This could be a top team going forward, right? This is a very young squad, right? So I'd expect them to see them back next semester, next year, hopefully getting the job done here for SU. They are looking confident, looking strong, still some things to work on, but very positive season, positive year for this SU squad.
I want to throw this out there one more time. I came in here, I asked him, all right, guys, what's the plan today? We're like, you're probably looking at a 3-0 on us. I'm like, you guys just took us to 5. It was close. You shut them out 5-0 on one game. It's not to be understated. This is still a great end to the season, even if it's not the final result that they were exactly searching for. And like you said, young team, they're not going to be going anywhere. Expect all of them to be back for these future seasons to continue developing and growing the team. And even think about next year. I mean, mean, we're looking at one of the potentially best teams in the region.
Yeah, I agree, right? Because you can see all the potential that this squad has, right?
Oh, yeah.
You see these passing lanes with Elim and Mango, with Kiazi and Mango, and the follow-ups, the communication has just grown so much. Everyone has been able to find their groove, finding these angles, and really just knows where they have to be at the right time, knows their assignments, and have been sticking to them pretty much to a T so far. We see Mango playing aggressive, Kiazi on that defensive side, and Elim being that setup man for this squad. There's a lot to come from this Rocket League squad here from SU, and I can't wait to see where it goes.
Absolutely, and the improvement, the growth, we've seen it from our Rocket League team, but also all of our other competing rosters here at Shenandoah, and we still have some seasons that are going on. Our Call of Duty and Overwatch teams have tons of competition still left to go. Make sure you go ahead and give the Shenandoah Esports channel a follow to stay updated on all of our varsity teams' action. That's going to do it for us here today on the desk, but of course, much more competition to come for the Shenandoah spring season. We're going to go ahead, bid you guys a good night, and we'll go ahead and see you on our next match day. Clean, but look how far apart the Hornets have been so far. And all these opportunities like this open for Alvernia, bounces in front of the goal line. Brandon tapped it.
Ahead 1-0.
Constantly, that demolition worked against them. It almost provided a smoke screen for Alvernia to go on through and get it to 1 point. And are going to start to get Shenandoah. Try to play that mental game a little more.
Yeah, Tav able to get that flip reset in the air there. Just toss that one off of that upper corner.
Alvernia are taking advantages now of Shenandoah being stuck in their own defensive end. A problem that we saw a little bit earlier in the semester was Shenandoah can play this incredible defense regardless of this aggression. A 4-0 lead now for Alvernia.
Yeah, Tav able to get over Kiazi there. Kiazi playing that midfield a little bit too, hopefully boost the morale here. Like you said, 19 seconds left. Very hard to bring this one back, if at all here. But
players several times before Shenandoah start this game off on the right note.
Yeah, SU able to keep that ball over in Alvernia's half of the field there.
Kiazi, the third man that everybody wants on their team. Look at what a setup that is for Mango. You're just essentially spoon-feeding Alvernia, getting one on the board today, but in such a scrappy fashion, to say the least.
Yeah, Mango
behind. So Alvernia find that window to strike despite them being choked out on their own side for basically the entirety of game 2.
Yeah, and listen, for these clears, like, because you can see Wild's able to find that good clear, and Tab is already there in position. Elim not able to get there fast enough.
In these 30 seconds, that early fire that Shenandoah had raging on their slide is slowly starting to flicker away. And this is where it starts to get sold. And look how key this touch was. The read off the wall from Wild's like, all right, you want to give me a pass? All right, I have got this under control. Tipped it off the hood of his car, not a single from the players, because oh my, did Shenandoah just booked himself to an overtime.
That bounced on the ground with about 2 seconds left there. Kiazi.
Board already. Significant improvements from last game and on their way to a comeback.
You can see Tab and
Alvernia, it just sailed straight over their heads.
Elim off the wall. Mango just barely able to beat Birdman to the ball there. That's the things that we like to see from SU, right? Once you have this ball hovering in this kind of dead space in front of this goal call.
2, 3, and 4, like this is where the man dominates. Sometimes they're a little bit slow to warm up, and if we go to game 5, it can be tricky. But when he's in games like this, absolutely stylish.
Assist SU looking so good off of these backboard shots here. Kiazi, oh my gosh, just coming in like a missile there for SU, putting them up.
It all off. Alvernia, they are down. They are beaten. All this is about now is the Hornets sending a message of they wanting to go to this land.
Yeah, SU, Alvernia 1-0 now in game number 4, but not too